He's something, Amherst.
Yeah.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. Hopefully you've all had yourself a good weekend, but today we're talking Yamato, or Starblazers for the Americans, and yeah, I'm a happy boy. Happy boy here, fingers pointing. I was one of my favorite shows as a kid. Of course, this can be said for pretty much anyone in my generation. Uh, and I will, I'm sure, bleat on about it the entire show, but and give certain facts that you probably never needed to know. But basically, we're off to Iskandar. We're going to save the Earth. We are.
All right.
Yes, with art.
Woohoo!
Yes. But nevertheless, welcome all of you artists today. Hopefully, this challenge is not too painful for you, because artists don't like the mechanical things very much. But we'll see. There are characters. There's an alien girl, and there's a bunch of so-called. Nevertheless, welcome all of you artists today. Hopefully, this challenge is not too painful. Okay, I fixed that. All right, it's done. Sorry about that. But what am I doing here? Oh yeah, lost my train of thought for a second. I didn't mute it. I even have it written here in front of me. Mute YouTube. I blame Amy.
Oh, all right. That's fair.
That's fair. It is fair. I was listening to something earlier, making sure it sounded correct, and I forgot to remute it. Oh, well, it is what it is. But anyway, we got Blue Moon in here, and it says, "Woohoo! I'm so excited! Anime, yes." No, Doug. This does not qualify as an anime. Doug, this is not an anime. That's that modern crap. This is proper animation, sir.
This is a cartoon before they had anime.
Yeah. It's none of that big-eyed, goofy, nonsense that the Japanese been putting out for 3 decades. Nope. This is proper animation. This could have been made anywhere. It was just made in Japan, by happenstance. Anyway, so you be nice, Doug. Okay.
Although,
I'm
if
glad
you're
we have an
feeling
agreement.
better, glad for you.
What was that you said?
Although, if he's feeling, better about anime, I'm glad for him. Oh, maybe he's making some peace with that.
No, that was sarcasm.
Oh.
Yeah.
He still hates the anime.
Yeah.
Oh, oops. Oh, well.
Death to anime.
Without question, sarcasm. But anyway, but we are going to get into it here in a second, of course. But before we do, I just want to say hello to the artist. Hello, Eric.
Well, hello there, Chester.
How was your weekend, sir?
My weekend started out like pure crap.
Oh, that's good.
I spent 5 hours watching a boxing match just to get to the match I wanted to see, and it sucked.
Oh yeah, no. See, I just waited until it was all done, and I just went right up to the the match. And he's talking, of course, of Tyson and Paul. But yeah, I figured he was either going to be lame, super lame, and boring, or Tyson was going to take his head off in the first 10 seconds, which he looked like he was going to, and then someone told him to stop. So.
Stop or you don't get paid, Mike.
Yeah, I guess, because he came out just laying into that kid, and then all of a sudden, Mike just stopped for the rest of the fight. Just stopped, right? And well, you saw he had plenty. He wasn't winded at all. And the thing that was shocking to me about that, Eric, was the fact that Mike let him hit him the whole time, but he didn't phase Mike at all. I mean, that guy's got no power whatsoever. Big old dude like that doesn't have no power behind him. What's that about?
Or Mike's head's so thick that
well, okay, it could be
just didn't feel it.
I suppose.
You know what? The women's match wasn't the women's match was the best match of the night.
It really was.
Oh, I don't watch that shit.
God, that first match was some Indian YouTube or social media star against some other guy.
Yeah, no, I don't.
No, those are 2 Mexican dudes. That was an okay fight.
Yeah.
No, that was the second one.
Yeah.
Oh, the very first one.
Oh, which one was the one he got him in the corner and tried to dry hump him?
YouTubers. All right.
One of the
Those,
matches, you got the guy in the corner and started like humping on him.
those
Yeah,
Netflix,
idiots.
they're always going to
It
find
was
something like
Netflix.
that.
That's true. Yeah, no, I know that there's plenty of girls out there that take the sport seriously and can do the job. I just have zero interest in watching women in blood sport. None.
Oh,
Mhm.
It was the most exciting match of the night.
It might well have been, but I would have been abhorred by it. I don't
Right.
like
the one
seeing women violent and bloody. I don't like it. I'm
Mm.
not saying they can't do it. That's not the point.
Chester, if
Just
you wanted to really be impressed, though, the Ring Girls.
Yeah, no, that was a
Mm.
comeback. That was a nice comeback. That was good. It's not as good as the rough and ready ring girls. But
Oh,
yeah, that was nice. And the funny thing is, during this period of hating on women we've been under for the past decade, how many of these ring or card girls or track girls or whatever they are in the various sports, cheerleaders, that have lost their jobs because we're protecting you, and they're like, but we love our jobs.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was actually surprised to see them. I thought
that's what Peter Dinklage did to the dwarfs.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, so I've seen so many responses from women who've lost their jobs, like, "Why you take our job away? We make good money and we love it."
I mean, if you want to be part of the sport, because I'm sure the girls grew up with those sports and games too. Like their dads
Probably.
probably enjoyed
Yeah,
watching football, so they watched with them, and they're kind of like, "Wow, I'd really love to be one of the cheerleaders someday," so they can be
sure,
out in the field and be part of that energy. It
sure.
seems like it could be a really positive experience for them.
It is, and they get paid really well.
Yep.
Well, the ring girls get paid a lot better than the NFL cheerleaders, unfortunately. But
Mm.
yeah, I mean, and if you're a type of girl who's more tomboy and you want to do the sport, well, we got the lingerie league, and don't laugh at it because those girls
I,
get out there and get it. Have you guys ever seen
I,
lingerie football? You ever seen it,
Yep.
dude?
No, Chester, I go to church.
Those girls get it. I mean, the outfit. The problem with it is the outfits that they wear, the how well and how hard they're playing. The outfits are ridiculous. They should just get rid
mm,
of it. Yeah, because initially I'm sure it started out as a beer thing. You know,
like a joke.
well,
Yeah.
men, right? But those girls get out there and get it, man. But
Mm.
anyway, no, 100%. Yeah, no, the Tyson Paul thing was a joke.
It
Yeah,
was.
it was a joke. But the thing really is, it looked really bad for Paul because that guy's got zero power. I mean, zero power. You know, I
How?
mean, if I'm going to have Mike Tyson sitting in front of me and he's not swinging back, which is what happened,
Mm-hmm.
I doubt I could. Well, no, who knows? But I doubt if I could knock Mike Tyson out. But I'd let him know I was there, right? For
You could do
sure.
it. I have
Mm.
faith in you, Chester.
What was that?
I have faith in you. You could do it. You could take him out.
Well, no, if he's going to let me hit him and not punch back, sure. Sure,
Oh yeah.
sure. I mean, if it's Mike Tyson, I'm going to hope that the money will be forwarded to my wife. Um, you know, because it's freaking Mike Tyson. Did you see his workout videos?
He
Yeah.
has a
Yeah.
workout
You look
video?
Yeah.
great.
In the first round, he came out hammering on that boy, and then someone told him to back up. It's
Oh.
obviously what happened. Everyone
So
could
the,
see
Yeah.
it.
the first round's worth watching then?
Well, about 30 seconds of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Until
I'll
they
make walks
clinch,
for
and then
free
it kind of
programs.
stops.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Yamato. But I'm going to do our intro since I don't have the Jeff here. I'm going to do our intro a little bit different today. Let me
Oh,
go
you
ahead
gonna play
and.
saxophone for us?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Come on, it's got to be
Oh.
uh,
right next to you, right?
Right?
no. It's
Oh.
somewhere in the other room. I would assume I have more than one. It's
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Well, where's your desk
the
saxophone?
fact that you assume I only have one is pretty insulting, to be honest with you. But anyway, now of
I've only
course.
got one pencil.
No, you don't. of course, here with Yamato, we had a little bit of the remake. I'll get into some of the details later. It is beautiful, the remake that they did. And of course, here is some of our main crew. It's these are the ones who kind of get everything done. And I'll get into some of the cast here, talking about it later. And of course, we have these great ships that anyone could look at. I particularly am quite fond of the Andromeda class over here. But I did want to start with this, if I may, and I will just go ahead and everyone be reverent. Here we go.
Okay.
Reverence.
Very nice background.
Listen to the whole crowd sing with him. Now, I'm going to stop it there because the YouTube
What?
demons.
Oh,
But the thing with it is, you can go listen yourself.
mhm.
Now, here's the thing. Now, many of you Americans, of course, are used to the American theme, and the American theme's fine. It's a good theme. You know, loved it as a kid. But the original Japanese one is badass. It's just badass. I've seen like
Is it
entire men choirs sing that, and it's hauntingly good. But you heard that entire crowd singing with him, right? Or maybe you didn't hear it
yeah,
here, but the people in the YouTube did. But
everybody
nevertheless,
knows that.
that's your kazoo. Go. What are you waiting for?
Achoo!
Why aren't you drawing? Yeah.
You know, I found
Mm-mm.
something interesting today, trying to look up the show because I'm not super familiar. I remember it as a kid, but I don't remember. I don't remember it, right? So I looked it up, and I found out they're going to make a live action.
They did already.
Disney was going to make a live action,
They were.
and
Disney?
they're
Oh
going to
no.
switch the Japaneseness with American stuff, and they're going to switch the Yamato ship with the Arizona.
Oh wow,
Oh,
yeah, no,
jeez.
don't do that. We
Oh,
are well, we already had that
that's a
problem
cultural
with
appropriation.
Starblazers in America. Of course, it came out in the 70s, and it was too soon after the war. But it was such a mega hit all around the world that the Americans kind of had to show it because everyone else was talking about it. But of course, they English dubbed it, and they made some changes. You see. It's
Mhm.
not the Yamato, which was a World War II battleship, one of the biggest battleships ever built in history. That was
Mhm.
sunk by the Americans, and
Woohoo!
woohoo!
America.
And of course, in the
Freedom.
story,
Mhm.
um, the Earth is being attacked by the Gamelons,
Mhm.
and the oceans have been evaporated. Earth's on its last leg, right? And they don't know what this enemy wants, why they're here. Like the rogue planet of the Gamelons had come close to Earth, causing a lot of trouble anyway. But it was just very dire straits, and they came across the sunken wreck of the Yamato. And
Oh,
they
wow.
had an alien come who hated the Gamelons as well, and they were saying, "We
Mhm.
will help you, but you have to get to us so we can give you the proper weapon to destroy the enemy. But
Mm.
in order to get you there, you're going to need spaceships." So they gave them technology, and they rebuilt the Yamato, and off to Iskandar they went. That's the whole
Mm.
plot premise, right? To save the Earth, literally. But
Right.
because they used the Yamato, which of course, why wouldn't the Japanese? It's a legendary ship for them, right? And I mean, for any kind
Sure.
of navy boat person. But the
Mhm.
They
Americans like,
use that in Godzilla -1 too.
did they use that? I don't think so. That was after the war, right? The Yamato was already
Yeah, it
sunk.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a okay. They used something. I'm going to go
They had a
watch that
bunch of
again.
ships they used, yeah. But of course, in the American Starblazers version, they called the Yamato the Argo. as in Jason and the Argonauts, because you can't have a reference to a Japanese thing. And of course, they try to reduce the Japanese involvement as much as possible. But
Yeah.
it was the 70s. What do you want?
And it might have been hard to figure out how to pronounce. Maybe if the language wasn't
No,
as
it had
common.
nothing to do with that at all. It was pure politics.
Yeah, the 70s, we still didn't want to buy foreign cars. I mean, it's pretty,
We
it was
literally
pretty
had
bad.
commercials with Japanese and Coke bottle lenses with cameras going, I saw, literally.
Yeah.
We literally, yeah. And of course, the Japanese had become the enemy again because we gave them free, no tariff customs. We gave tons of money and
Oh,
tons of
wow.
favoritism to them. And of course, what did that do? Pure free market does the same thing every time. It booms an economy, and that's what happened with them. And they started kicking the ass of our car companies because our car companies couldn't put up with all the democratic nonsense with gasoline reduction things, environmental EPA stuff, all that nonsense that was killing our car company. Still is shocking. But of course, the Japanese, Honda and Toyota, were completely funded by the Japanese government, and of course, they're therefore by the American government because we were throwing tons of subsidies, and those subsidies
Hey,
were going right into those car companies and electronic companies.
the
Wow.
Ford Pinto didn't help though. You know what I mean?
They didn't. It did. Well, but they were such on the back foot, right? They just couldn't put out a quality product for a reliable, affordable price. And the
Nothing
Jap
after the '60s was ever really that good in America. I mean, car
well,
wise.
there was
It's
some early '70s stuff that'll go, but once OPEC thing happened, yeah, it was the end of it. That's for
That's
sure. It
ridiculous.
didn't start picking up to the late '90s, but nevertheless, the Japanese were kicking our ass with our own money, and therefore there was a lot of hatred toward them. So much so that Hollywood tried to tamper down the hate by creating a movie called Gung Ho with Michael Keaton.
I don't believe I've ever heard of this movie.
Yeah, yeah. No, because the hatred from the Americans was getting very serious, and I understand why the Americans were angry. They had full right to be angry. I don't think most of them understood really what was going on, though. But yeah, they
The
put out a movie
government.
called Gung Ho to try to repair relations, and I think that's also why they released things like Yamato and Force 5 and Gatchaman, or we call that War of the Planets. But all that kind of stuff was to kind of try to reduce the tension against the Japanese, even though the American government knew exactly how to deal with that tension, just simply take away the sanctions. But keep in mind, I mean, take away the not the sanctions, uh, the funding
All the.
of the Japanese government, which was going right into their corporations, right? And of course, it's funny, none of that ended until a certain European man of European descent. What was his name there? Trump? No, Trump.
Something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
Trump ended those. Think about how
Mhm.
recent that is. Think about how many decades we were funding the Japanese government. Think about that.
But they're
and then they
doing
killed
just
your prime
fine.
minister, right?
Mhm.
Well, it's not my prime minister, but one of the problems you have with the politics here, because no one talks about Japanese politics. I mean, why would you? But one of the problems you have here is the vast majority of Japanese politicians are actually members of a Korean cult.
What?
Yes, I know. It's very bizarre, and the Japanese don't get it. I don't even really understand it, but other than the fact that the Oriental people are very susceptible to cults, more so than any other group of people. However,
Okay.
the that situation with Abe getting shot was because his wife is 100% intolerable, nasty creature who uses her husband's position and power to get anything she wants, and he is so cucked out that he can't even just say no, dear. And he got
Oh
killed
dear.
for no, he was killed for her sins,
Oh
100%.
no.
Yes, he was. But yeah, that was a bit of a shock to the Japanese people. It's not like they have that kind of. They used to. During the wartime era, the 30s and of course early 40s, the number of assassinations in Japan were in the hundreds. Yeah,
Oh god.
it was bad. It was political, just incredible political turmoil. But nevertheless, um, with Starblazers was I feel at least with our generation, Eric and I, that it was the beginning of trying to heal those wounds and
Mm,
get the American people on board. And it didn't work with my father because he's always mad at me when I didn't buy something made in America. But with Eric and I in our generation, Alan as well, we were we don't have those same views about Japan.
right. No. It was a terrible battle, but it was terrible for everybody, and their people were
And
victim
then
of
they
all this.
invented Nintendo.
Yeah, then they came up with Nintendo. Yeah, no, war sucks and it's stupid, and I still don't understand why
Mm,
we allow the elites to do it. It's like, I
mm,
mean, the people could just simply say, "Hey, if you want a war, go fight it yourself." I don't
yeah,
know why we sign up to be part of their wars over and over and over again. We just refuse them. Just
no,
refuse them.
It should be a rule that whoever calls for war should be at the front line.
Yeah. No, absolutely, dude.
it used to
Absolutely.
be the kings had to lead armies into battle.
Emperors used to. Yeah, no, that's true. Many times the king was expected to be on the front line. Matter of fact, with monarchy, they are expected to be out there in the war, right? So, I mean,
Right.
it's people say monarchy is a horrible thing, but they were more honorable than we are.
Mm-hmm. They'd actually be out there
They
with
would
their
be.
men.
There's many examples of kings getting badly injured or wounded on the battlefield. Lords, of course, have been slaughtered by the thousands over history, the centuries, right? But the whole Yamato thing was really an attempt to try to calm down the anger of
Right.
the American people, which just grew into the 80s. The older generation, Eric and I and Alan's parents, they were so incensed because you got to keep in mind most of them were born at the tail end or just after that war, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
they grew up with all the anger, frustration, and propaganda that post-war brings, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and of course, with the American government just subsidizing the Japanese government so heavily, and keep in mind this was also going on with Germany.
Yeah.
Well, at least half of Germany.
Hmm.
Mm,
The other half was being badly abused. Uh, but
Like a
My
redheaded
parents were
stepchild.
like a redheaded stepchild, dude, with the Russians. Well, excuse me, what the Soviets did to the German people is honestly, it's unacceptable. It's really
yeah.
unacceptable.
No.
But then again, what Eisenhower did to the German people just after the war and his little murder camps is unacceptable. And most Americans don't even know that happened, right? Um,
Yeah.
uh, and it was really, really bad. So Starblazers was part of that whole thing to try to, appease the American people and say, hey, Japanese aren't so bad. They're kind of nice. And it worked. It did work. And of course, another
Mhm.
thing that helped that even though the American people didn't really understand why this was happening, the Japanese cars were just better.
Right.
They just were. And of course, the
Yep.
reason they were better and their electronics was better, and of course, Nintendo, as Alan had mentioned, is because they were fully subsidized by the government, just like China is today. Keep in mind, there is no business in China that is not owned by the CCP. It's law.
Right.
Every business in China is owned by the CCP. And
there's no
yeah,
business like
well, I mean, the Japanese weren't really that different in at least in the meta level. So yeah, they were just kicking our butt. I mean, the Toyota 4Runner, they came out in the 80s. Do you remember that one, Eric?
Yep. Sure do.
Yeah. One of the most legendary vehicles of all time, right? And of course, if you had one, people would throw eggs at it. They'd key your car. They get so mad at you for daring to buy Japanese stuff. I'm kind of surprised the Japanese cars even got a hold in America. To be honest with you.
Right. I guess they were still somewhat Now, would it have been as bad if the American government wasn't punishing the American companies? So at least the American companies could be competitive?
No, no one gives
Because
shit
it
about
seems
American
like,
companies. See, you don't understand the government. You don't understand the American government. They don't care
Should
about
have
America
bartered with him.
whatsoever. Yeah, America is simply the American citizen's job, as far as the government's concerned, is to eat and consume, bastard, and then shut up. That's what
But
the government thinks of you. That's what they think of you.
that
That's what they've
that's
always
not
thought
fair.
about you. Well, they don't what they're not going to make money off of you. They're going to take your money by you buying their crap. They're going to make their money overseas because it's cheaper. You see. Have you not
Mhm.
learned the basic economics of Earth?
Of
Is
Earth.
put that's why we have little spaceships to go.
I had to bring it back somehow.
Sorry.
That's right.
Chester.
A lot of
Mhm.
forerunners in my
My,
neighborhood too. It's funny.
oh,
Those
my
things are
dad
amazing.
he still hated Japanese cars up until 2000.
Easy. Yeah, my dad probably still does. Yeah.
But he went with me to go buy a Nissan. I
Mhm.
said, yeah, go to the dealership with me. And we went to the guy bought a Xterra, and he said he had never been treated so nice in a dealership in his entire life.
Sure, well,
Aw.
of course, right? They're desperate.
That turned
Yeah.
him completely around.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You know, the funny thing with that though, Eric, is all my aunties and stuff,
Mhm.
they weren't directly insulting to my wife, but they all kind of had in their mind the don't you shouldn't mix the yolk, right? They're all Protestants, right?
Well,
The
yeah, I get
yeah.
that because I asked, I was dating after
Like,
my
'cause she's yellow.
divorce.
Mhm.
It is because she's yellow. After my divorce, I started dating a Venezuelan,
Mhm.
and I didn't take him around my parents for a while, and I finally, asked my dad, "Hey, I'm dating a Hispanic. You got a problem with that? It would be okay?" He goes, "I don't care." I'm like, okay, because I've heard you say other things about different people, so I didn't know.
Right. Well, that's the point I was trying to make. My mother and my aunties, they were not really supportive, right?
Yeah.
My grandmother was, but of course she was. But my dad, he was because he met her, he talked to her, they had conversations with her. He said she's a good woman. You did a good job. He said he's
Oh,
the
Aw.
only
good.
one that supported me, other than grandma.
Oh,
But I mean, of course, grandma, she's different.
Oh, she's
But
amazing.
you're grandma's favorite too, so we all know that.
no, it's true. Well, she's kind of my mama,
It's
right?
true. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, so the younger people here didn't really grow up in that age. And Flying Saucer makes a really good point here. He says, etched in my memory is young Germans running straight through barbed wire fences. Yeah. It was bad, dude. And no one talks about the American atrocities after the war. We only talk about the Russian ones. And to be fair, the Russian ones were magnitudes worse. I mean, they were, but I mean, because literally, when the Soviets came into Berlin, every woman in that city was raped, every single one. It didn't matter how old they were. Doesn't matter if they were 2 or 92. Did not matter. That was the imperative, right? That was to teach them a lesson. They raped every single solitary female in that city. And there was never been any kind of comeuppance for that. But what the Americans are doing under Eisenhower was also equally disgusting, though, in many ways, because it was more brutal. Most of those women in Berlin actually survived,
Mm.
right? Whereas Eisenhower was just murdering Germans, is what he was doing, right? But it was bad. It was all really bad, and that thing stuck in her head real bad. And it stuck for a long time. And of course, the Japanese being so successful, once again, I explain why, is because they were being subsidized, right? And the
Mhm.
Japanese government was putting all their money behind these companies, right? To be successful, which makes sense. You should do this. I don't understand why the American government doesn't do this. Why
Mhm.
aren't we supporting essential businesses in America to try to make them the most successful thing on the planet? Why don't we do that? We used to.
Because
Might
they
again,
want to
Chester.
what?
What was that, Alan?
We might again, Chester.
There you go.
Got a savior in the White
That's
House.
That's true. Well, I think he's going to really try to go back to the 19th century take because a lot of people don't understand America militarily, we were very weak until World War II. And this is what Yamamoto-san was, warning the Japanese about. He says, "You don't understand. The Americans are just kind of this sleeping giant. You need to leave them be." And of course, instantly we dropped an army on a fully mechanized army on the field instantly, right? Um, and that no one expected that we'd be able to do that. But in the 19th century, we didn't have much of a military, but we were one of the richest places on planet, if not the richest place on earth. And we did this because everyone wanted a piece of that pie, and they had tariffs galore. And the American government was pulling in money left and right. Now, keep in mind, there was no such thing as income tax. There was no Social Security. There was no welfare. There was none of that nonsense. But yet everything functioned. We had less homeless in the street in 1990s New York than we do now. Explain that
Thanks,
to me.
Obama.
That's pretty crazy.
And we had no
What
welfare.
was
We
there?
had no income tax. We had none of that stuff. No Social Security.
Were there provisions or some way to take care of the elderly
Yeah,
when they
it's
couldn't
called
work
the
anymore?
church.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Also, it was before the time that the government decided they wanted more taxpayers, you see. Therefore, back in that time, the families stayed together. The children didn't run off to parts unknown to start new lives and hardly ever see their family again. They stayed home. They worked together toward things. The elderly were kept in the houses and taken care of by families. They weren't put in nursing homes. An asylum or nursing, which we would call a nursing home, were the last place you would ever want someone you love to be, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it was like had a you know when we were kids. I mean, that was like a horror story to hear that someone's been put in a nursing home.
Because it
Yeah.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, of course, Reagan got rid of that, which was one of the, I'd say, three big mistakes he made. But yeah, I mean, et cetera, et cetera. But it's very interesting how anime became kind of part of the propaganda in a way. Because it was. It 100% was. And this is great what you're doing, by the way, Eric.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
This is why Doug doesn't like anime.
Maybe.
He
It
doesn't
could be. Because he's
like
clearly
you
our age,
struck it.
dude.
Yeah.
He's clearly our age.
Oh yeah. If not older.
Yeah.
He might be 72 or so.
He probably is. Yeah. That's true.
he might be the voice of Skeletor for all we know.
Dude, I am not worthy, sir. But yeah. Now, for our generation, however, our take, of course, on Japan was very, very different because we grew up with these kind of shows. We not only the anime stuff, but of course, ninja theater, and all of the kind of jidaigeki type of stuff that we got to see on TV, which is just
Hey, I thought that was
samurai.
a PG show.
Jidaigeki just means samurai stories, right?
Oh,
Yeah, every kid our age wanted to be a ninja.
Hell yeah, dude.
yep.
Shokusugi in his ninja theater
Oh
every Sunday.
yeah.
He would show us a martial art movie, and he would demonstrate a weapon of some kind. But it just was a huge shift. And of course, the simple fact, another huge propaganda tool, both from within the American government and the Japanese government as well, as was already mentioned, things like Atari,
Mhm.
Nintendo, Sega, Capcom. The list continues, right? And it just, our generation was inundated by Japanese products. And of course, it worked 100% because no longer did we have any hate for the Japanese, unreasonable hate whatsoever. Didn't matter what our parents said. It didn't matter what our grandparents said. And it's kind of interesting because the funny thing is my older uncles, grandpas, things like that, the ones that actually fought against the Japanese or at least in World War II, they are
Mhm.
less racist against the Japanese than their children, which are
Hmm.
our parents. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what it is. And maybe because I do know a lot of the soldiers who fought against the Japanese actually had great respect for the Japanese soldier.
that's
Um,
what I was gonna say. Is it mutual respect, maybe?
I think so. I think so. And it's interesting that they have that because we literally walked across the Pacific with no detours. We literally walked across the Pacific and ended them very quickly. In retrospect, right? We had no defeats. We handed them loss after loss after loss after loss after loss. But I think it's the Japanese, the simple fact that the Japanese would die to the last man, literally, literally,
Yeah.
which is stupid and suicidal, but it is very much that samurai thinking, isn't it?
Hmm.
So, but now we live in a different world. Where the Japanese economy has been, they see it as a negative, but it's been just stable for what, 30 years. They haven't had much growth, but they haven't had decline either, right? And of course, the American economy had a boom, and it's had a major bust. Whoo doggy. How much you guys are in the States? I'm looking at data over here, but I'm not in the States. Do you think Trump can turn it around economically?
2 years realistically, but not
Yeah.
100%. I mean, you will start
Uh,
seeing the growth like in 2 years. That's if he gets to keep his cabinet. They already got rid of Gates, but I think that was a psyop.
It might have been. That's that little turtle man there. What's his name?
McConnell,
McConnell. Yeah, that little jackass. What state is he from?
Kentucky.
yeah, I
Kentucky.
was
We
gonna say
need to call
Kentucky.
Kentucky out
Kentucky, I think went full red too. If I
Yeah, he
remember right.
did. Yeah.
because he's a
I'm
neocon
up.
But there's a bunch of snakes in the grass, and this
in
whole
the
Gates
Senate.
thing took them all out.
Well, yeah, maybe that was the whole thing with Gates. Yeah, because Gates was facing some kind of criminal proceeding, wasn't he?
He had apparently, I don't know the guy. Politicians are politicians, right?
Hmm.
But he had a sexual misconduct thing going on that was false because he was like the bulldog in there. He was getting on everyone's ass. So you know what they
Oh,
do? They ended up they start making you a sexual predator for free.
yeah,
So they can get rid of you.
yeah. This is
So
why I
that's
don't
I
run
think
for
that's the shenanigans that's
politics.
going on there.
I'd be in trouble. Yeah. By the
So
way, I
that's
don't
what's
know
been
if.
going on.
Yeah, no. Well, that's good. Draw the snakes out. By the way, I don't know if you're doing this by accident or not, but you realize that's one of the most intense scenes in the entire series you're doing here, right?
Yes, I don't know that it's the greatest scener, but I when I saw it, I was like, oh, I should do that scene when they find the princess and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. No, it's a really powerful scene, and that's the thing. Getting back to we're talking about Yamato more as a propaganda device so far, but just as far as storytelling, it is really good. The story is amazing. It's a really well told story. It's endearing. It has all the right beats of the hero's journey, but in this case, it's a ship is the hero, and everybody on it. It's not an individual per se. There's a couple of standout protagonists, of course. I can show you right here, but in general, the ship itself is the protagonist, the hero, and it's just a really good story, and it's 3 seasons and their story is really good. It doesn't overstay its welcome as so many things do. But let me go over here and show you some of the main characters. Here we go. So
Like this, the princess looks just like the princess from what's that pirate, that other space pirate cartoon,
Captain
Harlock,
Harlock.
yeah. Well, do
Harlock.
keep in
It looks like
mind
the
that
chick from Harlock.
Harlock is a spin-off of this series. Harlock
Oh,
is
okay,
part
that
of
makes
this
sense.
universe. Yeah. Matter of fact, he was I think either a captain or like a lieutenant or something in the initial battles, and he became disenfranchised, and well, many things happened, but he left and became a pirate. But yeah, same universe. Now, of course, we have Kodai, who is your main kind of protagonist guy. But like I said, It's the ship itself. Now, keep in mind they did do a live action here in Japan some years back, and it was god awful. Don't seek it out. Don't watch it. It's just stupid Japanese live action. And the Japanese themselves were incensed by it. You don't understand the level of holy regard the Japanese have for this anime. Yamato is sacred. Every child, even the little ones now, know what Yamato is without question. They know, right? And there are other things like Akira, right? Or Akira. We Westerners, it's like considered one of the best anime of all time, right? And we know it. But the Japanese, a lot of the younger Japanese have never heard of it, have no clue whatsoever. But Yamato, they know. But Kodai, of course, being the generic hero, you have I think her name was Mori. Yeah, it is Mori. You got Shima. You got Domon. Todo, of course. I always thought his name was kind of weird in the Japanese one, but they don't have the princess here in this particular list. But the princess is, I forget what she came out of, like a seed, or I can't remember how she was rebirthed, but she's an alien and they found some way to get one of their people to them, wasn't it? I forget how that happened. It's been a long time.
They have like a little space dildo that falls off of her.
There's something that they were able to get her there. She's a representation of the Iskandarians, and of course they hate the enemy as well, and they want to help the Earthlings, and she guides them to Iskandar. But she's an important character. Of course, you saw Alan is he's drawing an important moment in that. Let me come back over here, and I'll give you some other information. Let me bring it up full screen here. And I'll give you some of the backlog with it. But now, like I said, there were 3 seasons. Space Battleship Yamato. You had Yamato: The New Voyage and Be Forever Yamato. These are the 3 seasons. Now, Starblazers in America wasn't necessarily laid out to you in perfect order because that's what they did with Japanese things. They would kind of cut it up. I mean, think of Power Rangers, right? Power Rangers is such a they stole from multiple anime and had a bunch of American kids doing some little in between scenes, and then there would be footage of obviously much older footage of them fighting stuff, and it's just kind of it's an absolute butcher job. But in America, you had Captain Avatar, of course, was the big dude, and he was a really cool captain. They did him real well. Of course, they had Derek Wildstar. He was the one I just showed you. You had Nova, of course. You had Mark Venture. You had let's see, a whole bunch of these things here. Sergeant Knox. Is it Orion? No, that's not Orion. That's not. Trying to see what they called the princess in the American one. I forget. Queen Starsha. But no, she was actually on Iskandar, wasn't she? Astra, that's right. But no, that wasn't her either. Damn it. Anyway, let me kind of get into the plot a little bit. Basically, it starts off Earth is attacked by Gamelon, a distant planet. The radiation from Gamelon's planet bombards forces everyone on Earth underground, evaporates our seas. With no way to remove the radiation, all life on Earth will be wiped out in a year. The Earth then receives unexpected help from Queen Starsha, the planet Iskandar, who's offers a device called Cosmos DNA, which will remove the radiation. However, since Iskandar is 148,000 light years away, which I kind of wondered at the time if they understood that our actual galaxy that we live in is only 100,000 light years in breadth. Yeah. See the things you learn when you get older, Eric. When I was
A
a
lot of
kid,
things.
yeah, well, dude, when I was a kid, I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, heck, we thought Pluto was a planet when we were kids. Jeez.
Well, I think we're still right on that.
Pluto celebrated.
It's just a dog.
Hmm. Anyway, they also send plans for the experimental wave motion engine, which is badass in the anime, by the way. That, when constructed, will help whoever can travel to Iskandar by letting them travel at 27. What is that? Let's see, that's billion miles per hour. Nice. Oh, no, excuse me, 27 billion miles per second. Whew.
Ooh.
150,000 times the speed of light, permitting the journey to be made in 1 year. Uh,
Hmm.
on Earth, the crew is recruited, headed by Captain Avatar, and an old sunken battleship, the Yamato, is transformed into a spaceship renamed the Argo.
Oh, so it's the wait, was it the Yamato and they renamed it the Argo,
Just
or
just in
was it?
the just in the English one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch the Japanese one again. They might have done something like that, because the crew, even though they all look Japanese, because Japanese art, whatever, artists have a hard time drawing
So,
other races. But
yeah,
the
and also tend to be yeah.
what was that name?
Oh, sorry. Well, I feel like for a lot of times people kind of consider themselves to be sort of like the default. They don't really consider themselves to be exceptional in any particular way. So when they draw kind of the median, it's gonna look kind of like them.
Yeah, it's
So
a
without a lot
subconscious
of
thing.
other
Yeah,
information.
yeah, it makes
Hmm.
sense.
I got some
But
professional insight on that though.
well, no, it seems
I've
pretty
drawn.
obvious to me. So
I'm just gonna put out a note that I've drawn many races, and a lot of times whoever's in charge will tell a professional. I know I've gone through this where say, "Oh, you made him look Chinese." I'm like, "He is Chinese." Oh, make him more American because of racial sensitivity. Blah blah blah.
oh, really?
So you're not even allowed to draw the race that they're supposed to be because they don't want to look racist. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Hmm. No, that makes total sense. Yeah.
It's dumb, but I get it. Yeah. But the point being is, this crew is actually supposed to be a very international crew, right?
Right.
From all around the world, which would make sense if we're under attack from some aliens and our planet is dying and some other aliens decide to help us. We would create an international organization
Sure.
to do it. We would do that. But anyway, second season takes place 1 year after Argo returns to Earth with the Cosmo DNA, and Earth's ecosystem is restored. It now faces a new dangerous enemy, the Comet Empire, led by Prince Zordar. Unlike Gamelon, which was seeking to capture and colonize Earth, Zodar simply wants to conquer and annex Earth to his empire. Deslok,
Mm.
the Gamillion leader, also joins forces with Zordar, mainly because he wants revenge on the Argo for having destroyed Gamelon. Yeah, they destroyed the planet, by the way.
Oh.
Um, the series revolves around the Argo, now commanded by Deputy Captain Derek Wildstar. So that hero, because I told you there's a great scene where the captain dies, and of course our
Yes.
hero from season one becomes the new captain. Although I honestly think that is one of the things I consider a mistake, because no, Avatar was an amazing captain. He was so good. Third season and last season, of course, is the Argo is caught in the middle of a war between the Galmans, the reform Gamelon Empire, and the Bolar Federation. A stray
Mm.
missile fired during the war causes the sun's thermonuclear reaction to go out of control. Unless it can be stopped, the
Oh.
sun will be destroyed. Will destroy the Earth in 1 year again. The entire solar
Yeah.
system in three. Now officially in command of the Argo, Derek Wildstar is charged to help find a new home for Earth's population. Hmm. There you
Wait,
go.
did they say that it would destroy the solar system 3 years after the sun goes out?
No, yeah, that's what it. Well, because it's expanding is what's happening. But in this
Mm.
one, in the third season, I think is the best ending, because it is really a 3 act thing. The beginning,
Mhm.
the middle, and the end. And Earth loses. We lose.
Yeah.
We don't win. Right? We survive. Well, a lot of us do, but we don't win the thing. And I love that aspect of the story, um, because it just really strikes home and as being realistic. And keep in mind, this is considered a kid show.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
Since Kent at Hardlock. Okay, that makes sense.
I'd say it's considered a kids show, but remember they had a different viewpoint. I had to jump in. I am so sorry.
no,
Literally got on here and I was like, I've gotta edit. I've got to edit this dang thing. I've been doing shows all day. And then you start talking the Argo and start talking about the captain. And I'm like, I gotta come on. And
yeah.
when you take it, and I know you talked about this, Chester, from the perspective of where they were coming from. This is really harkening back to that. Also, the emotion about the war and the World War
Mhm.
II. Losing Earth is like losing Japan, and how it changes everything. But there's going to be this new world, and so there's an analog
Hmm.
there with that feeling, I think. And so, even though it's a children's show, it's the creators also coming to terms with going through that war and losing the identity but finding a new one. And I
Hmm.
don't know if people really make that analog as much, but from watching it the first time all the way through, and it becomes more clear to me as the daughter of a World War II veteran, kind of
Right.
that analog. I don't know if y'all saw that or not in it.
I think
No, I didn't, and the Japanese don't either.
it's
Really, so you
beautiful
don't
though.
They would repudiate that. Yeah. A lot of the early things the Japanese did certainly played into that. Godzilla being, of course, prevalent. But the Japanese don't see it that way. They see this as more of, if they were going to make a real life historical analog, I would think it would have more referencing to the Korean Peninsula Wars with China and stuff like that,
Mm,
which
how
Westerners
so?
don't even know anything about. I was wrong about Captain Harlock, by the way. I do apologize. Uh,
Thank you.
this was yeah, Captain Harlock is hundreds of years later. Yeah.
Hmm. I guess it took a while before they could put train tracks through outer space.
Uh, well, that's a different show altogether. Was Space Train 1999 or 999 or whatever it's called? My wife
Oh,
loves that one. Yeah,
Galaxy Express.
Galaxy
Galaxy.
Express. Yeah, but the
That's
Japanese
right.
have another name for it.
Yeah, but yeah, of
Um,
course.
yeah. Let me see here. I'm pretty sure they are connected though. I think I have to check who wrote that. Hold on a second. Maybe I
They're
just
very
did.
similar. I noticed right away. I was like, these look very, very similar.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. I'm just seeing if yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, it is. It's the same mangaka.
Oh.
Matsumoto-san. And
Mm.
after it's kind of a weird sequel, and it
Mhm.
carries on his same emotion because basically it's hundreds of years later, and Earth had to go find a new home, right, at the end of Yamato,
So,
right? We lost Earth, right?
mhm.
And but now we're centuries later, and from the new planet we have created a huge galactic empire, right? In that time, we've grown and succeeded, but the problem is humans are rather lethargic. They're not. It's
Lazy.
just society is not good. It's not good. And he represents a fight against that. It says.
Hmm. Against sadness or despair?
Yeah, no, well, people are just, there's nothing new under the sun, I guess. Um, and it does say that his family did fight in the Gamelonian Wars. So I must have
Oh,
had
interesting.
some weird memory in my head from that.
Great.
But He's a romantic hero, a space pirate with an individualistic philosophy of life. He's noble as he is taciturn, rebellious, stoically fighting against totalitarian regimes, whether they be earthborn or alien. In his own word, he fights for no one's sake, only for something deep in his heart. Let's see here. Hold on a second.
So kind of a rebel without a cause, or
I guess
Who?
in a
What?
way, yeah.
James Keen of Japan.
Yeah, it was quite popular. I never was into it as much as Yamato, but I do remember it very clearly. Oh, here we go. Though there are slight variations in each telling of Harlock's story, the essentials remain the same. Matsumoto presents a future, 2977 AD, in which Earth has achieved a vast starfaring civilization after the Yamato situations, but is slowly and steadily succumbing to ennui and despair. There you go. Often due to defeat and subjugation by foreign invaders rising against the general apathy, because, nothing new under the sun. Harlock denies defeat and leads an outlaw crew uh, aboard his starship Arcadia to undertake daring raids against Earth's oppressors, even though they have defeated Earth and devastated its people. Of course, we know we lost Earth. The invaders are often presented in a sympathetic light, being shown as having some justification for their action, because, Earth went kind of crazy after we lost our planet and we started being real bullies.
Yeah.
really?
Right, which is not, and of course, that's what we did. But yeah,
Time to
that's
be an American.
America. Fuck yeah.
yeah.
And to say, I can't even say all the words.
That is interesting.
So the Earth ended up going off, and I guess they had to try and find a new home someplace, but they decided to try to take over other planets and make
Well,
that their home.
if you imagine, they would be angry. We lost our planet. We've
Mhm.
been bullied by several alien races. We found out there's a lot more alien races, and we start fighting for our own. This is our share.
Oh,
This is our corner. What are you doing? And we're gonna push back, of course, as we would. And if you did that long
cool.
enough, you're gonna create enough enemies, right?
So
Yeah.
they went and found some place and said, "This is ours now, and you can't have it." And then that led to problems,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
guess.
I probably didn't pronounce that right. Let me go back and look at that. I guess you would pronounce that ennui.
Only.
Yeah. But it just means
Ennui the lonely.
well, it just means listless and,
Yeah.
apathetic and, uninterested, bored.
Kind of given up on hope.
Yeah. Let's see here. Dogs live in dog houses, so who lives in tree houses? Flying Saucer says. Well, I'm glad to see the chat is having such an illuminating conversation. So, thank you, chat. Pluto is a planet. I agree,
Yes.
Flying Saucer. Screw those political assholes. 100%.
Mm-hmm. Is planet.
Now, that's a good point, Doug. If guitar players are guitarists, how come race car drivers aren't racist? I agree.
Wouldn't
It's a
they
good
be
one.
race cars?
It's a good one. Yeah, no, we always say race car drivers, right? Race car drivers, right? Wasn't it
I guess
one of the great Primus songs, Johnny was a race car driver? Is that what it was? Johnny?
Yep.
because if you just say racer, that would
Yeah,
well
racer.
no. Yeah, would that be somebody who's who runs with that? You don't call him a foot racer, I don't think.
Well, we would call him a runner, but or a
Running, yeah.
sprinter or something like that. But I think, of course, the ist suffix we're dealing with here is talking about technical acumen, therefore referring it to like a guitar, something that you technically do. Now, I know a car, you're saying, well, you got to be technical with that too, but I think it's just perceived differently. which is probably the real reason we don't do it. But also the other one, we can't go around saying racists here and there. Oh, that racist did a great job in the race on Sunday. Anyway, it doesn't work. It
Speed
just doesn't
Racer
work.
works though.
It's more of an object you have in your
Ian,
hand to put the ist on
Yeah,
the end of it, right?
Playing Speed Racer.
That's right,
He's
Speed
a
Racer.
racer.
Go Speed
there
Racer,
goes, there
go
goes,
Speed Racer,
Speed
go
Racer,
Speed
go
Racer,
Speed
go. One of the most
go speed
awesome things.
racist, go speed racist.
Yeah, there you go. Jerry, thank you very much, Doug. Jerry was a race car driver. I love Primus, by the way, Doug. I saw them perform like in 88, 89, 90, something like that. I saw them live, dude. It was freaking awesome. It was in a
You were in the
small venue
crowd
too.
and
They weren't
doing
mega
that.
hits by that time yet. But yeah, Rosa, one of the most awesome things that has ever happened to me happened, and it was really cool. I went to
What?
I went to Kumamoto because my daughter got accepted to Kumamoto University. So we were
Awesome.
over there, getting her an apartment and furnishing it and all that kind of stuff, right? And I'm driving in the Kumamoto for the first time, and I see on the right hand side of the road a gas station.
Yay!
It's not
What?
it's not one of the chains we have over here like Solato or Enios or Apollo or something like that. It was a mom and pop gas station,
Oh,
and it
neat.
was called Speed Racer, and it had all of the Speed Racer iconography. The lead, of course,
Oh
Speed
my!
Racer himself. I mean, everything. Clearly, they had some connection to the anime, right? And you see that
Yeah.
in Japan's sometimes, right? And of course, immediately I had to get gas.
You had to stop.
Yes.
You could
Even
not.
if you only fit in half a gallon, you're
Yeah.
stopping.
No, I needed gas. I just crossed the entire island. So, but my daughter was a bit miffed. We gotta go shopping. Like, no, I need gas desperately. We're all gonna die if I don't get gas.
That's
Exactly.
right. And then you go shopping there. You go shopping and go see their things.
Every time, it unfortunately went out of business. I
Oh,
was very sad. I was very sad about it. But every time I went to Kumamoto, I always stopped and got gas there.
It's a Speed Racer. Oh, that's awesome.
It is, isn't it?
Well,
Isn't that too cool, man?
yeah,
That is too
that's
cool.
so cool.
Yeah, and
did you
we,
sing the song when you went in there each time?
of course,
Mhm.
Well, sing
Yeah.
it right now.
loudly
just
and
singing.
boldly. I did sing it. I sang it before. Yeah, no, they have the tune playing the whole time anyway when you're there. It's
Oh,
the
nice.
little jingles going on. But they even had all the attendees because it's not a self-serve; it's a full-service station, of course.
Oh yeah.
And they had all the attendees in the speed racer outfits, right?
Nice. Did they have
Well,
the helmets too?
no,
Or just
they
the
had hats. They
They
had
had the
hats.
ascot.
Yeah, they had the hats.
Nice.
hmm
Was there a monkey?
There was a I guess it was more of a plushie. They did have like a gorilla plushie, yeah.
Nice.
Chim Chim wasn't a gorilla.
Well, but they were doing the best
Some
they
kind of
could.
monkey.
Eric,
Mhm.
don't be so judgmental.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of different kinds of monkeys over there, so they just had to make do with a gorilla.
No, we just have macaques. I think they murdered off all the other monkeys.
Dude. That's so...
The macaques.
The macaques, yeah, they're the type of monkey in Japan. It's called a macaque. The
Oh my
interesting thing,
goodness.
the only other place they're found on Earth is like Northwest Africa. Isn't that weird?
Weird. How
Call
did
them Mexicans over here.
Yeah, I mean, you might, maybe, yeah. Yeah. But then again, Japan's got a lot of animals that don't belong here. They were brought in, and it's kind of curious. We don't, of course, history. We don't know shit, right? We think we know, but we don't know nothing. But I think something was going on here in Japan. We know archaeologically, geologically, that with the big O, we've had many cataclysms, but the Younger Dryas events were bad. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the worst that humanity's ever experienced. And during that event, because we were basically getting hit by asteroids, just pummeled for
Yeah.
weeks, right? Gigantic thing, just tearing the hell out of everything, and a big one hit in the Pacific Ocean, dented the planet so badly that it's still well, the mantle is exposed still. The 12,000 years later, the mantle is still exposed. So that was bad. But anyway, it created a tsunami over here that
Okay.
was so big that it literally went over Japan, the
And washed
entirety
over all
of
the
it,
monkeys?
all of it. So everything that is alive in Japan today came after the fact, right? There's nothing here
Weird.
from the original islands. It's gone. A matter of fact, I'm sure their shape is different, right? But
Hmm.
nevertheless, we have a lot of things here that don't belong. Pretty much all the food stuff in Japan is not from Japan, right? Pretty much every single solitary thing, the fruits and vegetables I'm talking, right? It's
Mhm.
all from somewhere else. Matter of fact, the one thing that they think is naturally from Japan is heavily argued to be from China, right?
Oh no.
The one thing. We have animals, like I said, the macaques. They're only found in Africa, but why are they here in Japan? You also have the deer. They call them shika, and that's of course a very Japanese way to pronounce a thing. It's not a Japanese word. Of course, it's an Indian word. It's sika,
Oh.
the sika deer,
Oh.
and so they're from
Hmm.
India, but they're all over Japan. They're in all the mountains, et cetera, et cetera. Japan's a weird place, man. I have a feeling the
Hmm.
history that went on here is very bizarre and well beyond what we think. But then again, reality is stranger than fiction, isn't it?
Hmm.
Uh,
It's just
I
Most
see.
of the time.
the Empire of the was it the Ainu? What's the name of the natives there?
I knew.
I know.
Ainu,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
They
I
have all
knew
kinds of mysteries, don't they?
They do. They're mainly Russian people, well, what we call Russia today, Slavic peoples. Although there were some other Southeast Asian peoples here as well, particularly down in Okinawa, and mostly a couple thousand years ago there was an incredible period of drought in North China, and this
Mhm.
caused mass migration in China. Now, a lot of them ended up down in the south, and of course, they created what we call Shanghai, Guangdong area today. But also, large numbers of them got on ships and come over here to Japan. It's called the Yayoi Jidai here, and of course, that
Cool.
huge influx of Chinese people mixing with the native Ainu and some of those Southeast Asians, which we call Okinawans today, gave you the modern, and then of course 2,000 years of history, you got the Japanese people, right? Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, no, the Ainu are essential in that there were many wars fought, of course, and the Japanese, picked up many things from the Ainu. Very important one probably would be Bushido, right?
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Of
so
course, other
system.
things like armor, war, swords, these kind of things. This is why the
Shinto.
Japanese are the only effective warriors in the entirety of the Orient, because Orientals
Oh.
suck at war. They suck. Don't
Hmm.
be fooled by all those movies. They're horrible at war, which is why China doesn't make it very much. They're more economic warriors, to be fair. But the Japanese are
Hmm.
actually quite
That
good
Art
at
of
it.
War book.
Yeah, except for that one, right? Uh-huh. So weird.
I was gonna
But
say that Art of War book. Yes, huh?
well, they had time to sit around and contemplate war, seeing as they sucked at it. If you can't do, you teach.
All right,
It's like uniform.
coach, coach.
That's right. But yeah, no, the Ainu, of course, there are not many of them left. They've been wiped out over the past couple thousand years, but their culture and their ways have influenced the Japanese in incredible ways. And of course, you also had the migration of the, I don't know if you want to get into conspiracy theories or not, but we had a
we do.
huge migration of Jews come into what we used to be called Cathay. Today, it's just China that is north of Korea, but it used to be Cathay. By the way, there's still cities there called Gog and Magog, just so you know. Um, uh, no, they're still there. They're still
Cool.
there. Yeah. But there were a lot of Jews came up in that area. Now, of course, you can't see them in the population anymore. They all look Chinese. But what level of involvement did they have with the Japanese? We know they traded with them, but there's also a lot of racial hints. I see Jewish faces all the time over here. They just
Really?
Jewish. They stare back at me. They're Japanese, but they look Jewish. My neighbor,
Suppose
right
they've been
across from me,
watching, listening to your show. That's why they
maybe
stare back at you. They know all the stuff you say.
that might be true. Yeah. What? That's
So it's
hence why Chester sucks in English, but still teaches it. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Thundero. You stop drinking. I told you to stop drinking. It's not good for you. This is such a great scene, Ellen.
Trying.
No, it is a good scene, dude. And of course, this influenced many things. If you had after this, you got things like Macross, of course, Robotech for the Americans, which is better because we cut all the stupid singing, pop girl singing out of it, which is stupid.
is it?
It is very stupid. Yeah,
Ultron?
super. Ultron, of course, Gundam had already started at that time, but I would say it was still influenced like that. Yeah, we didn't really get
Mm.
Gundam though. That came way later, and it was already like a couple decades old by the time I don't know why it didn't come over. Because here in Japan, that's another mega influential thing, Gundam.
Is it maybe they couldn't get the licensing straightened out for the toys, so they just didn't bother?
Maybe, although here in Japan, of course, the biggest model market there is Gundam.
Right.
Yeah.
But to say it's the only reason I know what it is in the first place. Out
Yeah.
here, it was all models. Like, what the hell is this?
Dude, you go to the model stores here, and because I used to build them with my son, it's a nice thing to do with the son, right? Father and son, right?
Mhm.
And I go to these model stores. 98% of it is Gundam, and then they have a little teeny section that's not Gundam.
This labeled Gundam, not Gundam. Is
Not
that it?
Gundam, pretty much. Yes,
Mm,
pretty much.
not
Pretty much.
Gundam. And disappointed.
The
Gundam
robots.
and disappointed.
They
Oh,
well, they're the Altai peoples. I know, Thundero. Yeah. Sounds like Amy is all better. That's right. Welcome back to
Yep.
life, Amy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's nice to chat a bit more.
Yeah.
Do-do.
But Gundam is actually it's gotten really weird because it goes on forever. But
Mhm.
I kind of advise I advise you to go and watch the original Gundam. It's not what you think it is, right? Like when I was younger, we had Force 5, for instance, right? And my
Oh,
favorite out of that, Guy King was pretty cool, but I did love Grandizer. Was probably my favorite. But nevertheless, these kind of mecha giant robot things, they're
mhm.
simple. There is some plot there in the background, but it's just simple, right? It's fun. Gundam
Right.
is
It's
not
fun.
that. Uh, Gundam is a political drama first,
Hmm.
mecha war second. It's kind of Game of Thrones, to be honest with you.
With giant
Really?
robots?
Well, there's a war going on amongst royal houses, and it's
Mhm.
erupted into something quite big and ugly. But it's a lot of
Mm.
political intrigue. It's really it's really the Game of Thrones, and
Hmm.
you have mecha battle as well. And now as time has gone by, the mecha battle has become more in the forefront, which
Mhm.
obviously modern audiences. Uh, but
Sure.
um, but originally it was very serious political drama, and it's incredibly well written. I just don't know, maybe that's why it didn't come to America, because it's mostly politics, and they thought that would be boring for
Mm.
the kids and adults. Of course, Eric and I and Alan, and we know this, and Rosa as well, we know this really well. Our parents and all the adults around us would see anything animated is for children and stupid.
Right.
yeah. Let you
Yeah.
watch. But
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So they, the Japanese don't see it that way. For them, animation is just another way to tell a story.
Right.
And Gundam is quite adult. Like I said, it's heavily political. It's not really for kids at all. So that's probably why I didn't come over, because the adult audience wouldn't watch it anyway, because that dumb kid stuff. I mean, how much flack did we take when I was young for playing video games, watching anime, and playing D&D and collecting comic books? My goodness, so much flack. The only reason I wasn't black and blue all the time is because I was bigger than the rest of them, and I'd break their freaking fingers.
Right.
Ooh.
Go ahead, say something. I dare you.
Oh, no. They didn't mess with me very long.
And
Well, I am a
well,
Sasquatch, so.
I was nerd girl, so I could get away with it. Kind of, nobody was gonna mess with me anyway.
Well,
I had
you're a
already proven
girl
my.
too.
Yeah, I know. Well, they were sort of like the nerd guys would want you to come along for the ride, and that was
Sure.
kind of fun, you know.
Well, they need
But
sex too, Rosa.
they're not going to get it from me. I was
Yeah,
too
I know.
busy
The-
trying to.
You know how many
Don't worry,
times
nerd
we've
guys.
heard that story, Rosa? Go ahead,
I
Adam.
know.
Hey,
No. But yeah, it was a different world. Now the cool kids are nerds, and the actual nerds are just Nazis, I guess. Is that what we are now?
I
Yeah,
have
pretty
no idea.
much.
Yeah.
We're evil.
We are. We're a bunch of fascists, even though they don't seem to understand that word. There's a lot of
That word
words they don't understand the meaning of. Have you noticed this? Education has
Yeah.
really
Yes.
dropped. Yeah. It's very
They just
weird.
keep. They just keep
Catch me outside. How
changing.
about that?
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Yeah. That little girl cashed in so hardcore, even though she's one of the dumbest humans I've ever seen in my life. She made millions and millions and millions off of OnlyFans, and I think it's great because it makes me laugh, because she never showed even a nip slip. She didn't even give them what they wanted, right? She didn't give them any naked photos. She just put bikinis and stuff on like that. But she made millions of dollars. That Cash Me Outside girl. What a moron!
Who's the moron, though?
Well, I mean, yeah, we all are. We all are.
Yeah.
We all are. Yeah.
Well, I mean, good for her, I guess. I don't really know much about it. Was she in Yamato, or was
Oh wow, no,
she make money?
no. There's a TV show called Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil had on this
Dr. Phil, y'all.
insufferable young girl. She's just
Mhm.
she's just dumb, and it doesn't matter. She just doesn't care. She talks like an idiot. She could barely speak English. Her arrogance and entitlement is literally, level 1 million, right?
Okay.
Outrageous. And she got up there, just talking. You could barely understand her, but talking nonsense. Cash me outside. I'm going to get my money. I'm going to make my money. It's a little white girl acting like a black girl, right?
Well,
Didn't they parody that with Cartman in South Park?
They probably did, yeah. I'm sure they
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
I do what I want.
I do what I want.
Actually, no, that came in before because that was at a time where the talk shows were at their peak, and one of the biggest talk show topics were kids that were out of control, like that Catch Me Outside girl, and it'd always be
Yeah.
sent to boot camp. Does anyone remember that?
Mm.
Jenny Jones, Richard Bay, they'd always send these kids to boot camp.
And her mom had brought her in or something like that, and was asking for help. And instead, it's like the girl's just going crazy, even on the TV.
Yeah, but I'm saying that South Park episode was a precursor.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was before then. She was actually probably imitating the South Park episode. I do that.
Probably.
Probably was.
So she might have been working an ankle the whole time.
No, she's just a moron. She's just a real moron. But she showed us all, as Erica said, who is the real moron. Because, my goodness, that girl made millions of dollars with an OnlyFans account.
Aliens.
Millions. Yes, millions. And never even gave them what they wanted, was her naked, right? And it's just, it is a tragic example of the world we live in.
I am
True.
soiling my tights.
Yeah.
She could be creating any kind of art.
Well, it's just an example of one of the worst type of humans you could possibly be, and win, and she won.
Mhm.
That's the worst part of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So she would fit in Space Battle Yamato.
Yeah.
Well,
She was not.
as someone from
As-
Gamelon, sure.
Right.
Yeah. But
Her
just to
she eats Vegemite.
I bet you she
Just kidding.
does. She's one of yours. That's why we couldn't understand her, Amaran. Anyway, uh, now just to reiterate fascism here, so you understand, it's a political philosophy. Got that? Yep.
Mhm.
It's a movement or a regime that exalts nation and often race above the individual, and that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed often by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of opposition. Now, that's what the definition of fascism is. Now, we have two main parties in America. Can someone
Mhm.
tell me which one of our parties meets that definition most?
Well, we would.
Like
Not the Green
100%
Party.
even? No, it's not them. No, no. Although they can be a
I,
bit fascistic too.
I guess. I mean, probably the party that keeps censoring all of the online platforms.
Yeah, those. Yeah,
Okay,
autocratics
Yeah.
types. Yeah,
Yeah.
those guys. Yeah.
Mhm.
Severe economic and social regimentation. We see that all the time, right? Affirmative
Mhm.
action, right? DEI, right? Forcible suppression of opposition. Free speech. Got to get rid of
Um,
that, right?
yep.
I
Free
mean, who
speech
are
is
the ones that
dangerous.
do that? And none of these things apply to Republicans in
Mm.
any point in history that I can recall, but it certainly doesn't apply to old Trumpy there.
Mm.
Matter of fact, the first part of it even doesn't. That exalts nation. He does do that. He's a nationalist, a populist, but and often race above the individual. Now, who does
No.
that? Who are the ones that are always pushing one race or
No.
one sex or one ethnicity
No.
above all others? Right? Who does that?
That's
It's not Trump.
totally.
Well, Trump's people
Nope.
are all colors. You go look at his rallies. There's people of all color all throughout the crowd.
And all kinds. And oh my gosh, sure to be like at FEMA or something like that, when there were all those people who were after the hurricane, they were saying like, yeah, well, whatever you do, avoid helping anybody who has like Trump signs or
Right.
something up in their yard.
And you know
You're
what?
like, what?
They were pulled before the Senate or Congress to answer for that, and of course
Mhm.
their response constantly is we are investigating.
Ugh.
That's their response. And of course, the funny thing is that they believe, I think some of it's propaganda, but I think some of it's also true believers because they believe that these Trump supporters are violent and dangerous, vicious dogs, as they call them at FEMA. But the thing with it is, where's the violence? Where is it?
They're just normal people like everyone
Yeah,
else.
but there is no violence. We see violence, but it's not coming from them people,
No,
right?
nope, not at
So
all.
once again, someone needs a proper education.
Mm-hmm. Just
And
so you
or
know what a word
guillotine.
means before you use it.
A guillotine? We don't want to go France, dude. Never go full France. Never go
Yeah.
total France. Don't
I
do
don't
that.
know. They got a couple things right. Guillotine and fries.
Well, fries are not from France. I'm sorry. I
You shut
apologize.
your mouth. They are too.
No, they're not.
They're
It's a reference to
called
the
French fries.
technique called, yeah, well, it's a technique called julienne.
Julienne.
Yeah.
But that's not the word
Julienne
French.
fries. Julienne frites.
Yes. And it's at that time, because you got to remember, before we had this kind of reset in the 20s and and of course with the Great Depression in the 30s, before we had that kind of reset of everything, most restaurants in America, the menus were in French. The vast majority of restaurants and things you went to were French. Most of the dominant fashion was French. America was exceedingly French. And of course, that's not surprising when you understand that a huge chunk of the country, which we bought from Napoleon, was, French.
Like
Okay.
$5, right? Something like that.
Oh, no, no. We paid money, equivalent money at the time. He needed money, and he didn't care about the Americas. It wasn't. It was an actual proper amount of money at that time. And of course, then we bought
Okay.
the rest of the country from the Spanish after
Or Russia. Don't that
and
Or
Russia.
Russia.
We bought the last bits from Russia, yeah. And of course, Hawaii was a Democratic vote.
Mm.
Even though you go to Hawaii, all the Polynesians say America stole Hawaii. It's like, really? We have documentations of your king signing it. I don't. What are you talking about? Of course, there's another lack of education right there, Hawaii. But of course, the problem with Hawaii at the time was they had to really. They were in a between a rock and a hard place because they had to either choose the Japanese, the Chinese, or the Americans because they were no
Oof.
longer going to be able to allowed to exist by themselves. That was not
Oh.
going to happen. They were too important a position in the middle of the Pacific. It wasn't going to
Yep.
happen. So they had to
Mm.
choose. And I would say they chose wisely.
Yeah, I think so.
Until they
mean,
didn't paint their roofs blue, but whatever.
yeah, well,
until
okay, I
Mhm.
missed the reference. Please educate the old man.
go ahead, do it. Do it. Do it.
Oh.
Oh,
Begin.
the
Oh, okay.
what happened in Hawaii, the firestorms that happened in Hawaii,
Yeah.
all the houses that had blue roofs didn't get affected.
Interesting. And a lot of the trees either. They're just beautiful standing there,
Yeah.
fire all around them.
Mhm.
It
Yeah,
was
because
weird. Did anyone explain
Yeah.
that?
that's
Well,
that's the theory that it was a
Space-based
targeted
lasers.
attack to take the land.
yeah. There's a
See,
kind of laser they developed that'll burn up everything but won't ignite on the color blue. So a lot of the rich
Yeah.
houses from political groups had blue roofs and
Well, now that's interesting because there's actually
Jester, what
science.
color's your roof?
My roof, it's blue.
It's blue now.
It is now. Thank you, Elrod. You're damn right. But there is actual science behind that, though, within
really.
the light spectrum. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I never heard that before. I know there was a lot of
So yeah,
shenanigans, but I'm told to not
it was
listen
a
to
land grab.
shenanigans.
Oh
Oh, guess
yeah,
how much money
no.
they got? $700, just like
Yep.
North Carolina.
Yay!
Oh my
Woo!
gosh.
Yay!
And they still don't know what happened to all their children.
In Hawaii, that gets you like a Happy Meal and a Twinkie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Actually,
Mhm.
you can get
All the
you can get
children
the
on
double pack of Twinkies for that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Like
well,
when they offered
yeah.
French fries if you got your COVID shot.
Oh, right.
Like free French
Well,
fries.
do keep in
That
mind,
was
though,
crazy.
Hawaii is more radically blue than California. I know that's hard to believe, but
Wow.
it's true. I not only
So
lived there, I
Oh
worked
yeah,
in the
they
government. It's
oof,
ridiculous.
Because
I
it's
yeah.
know
one of
they
those
have just as many drug
grandfathered blue
addicts, and they're
states.
smaller.
What was that, Alan? Alan,
They
what was
have
that?
just as many they have just as many drug addicts, and they're a smaller state.
No,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Well, because
homeless is.
LA shipped all their drug addicts there years ago.
They did because they could just dump the homeless in Hawaii,
Yep.
and they don't have to just ignore them because it's always the same temperature every damn day, right? Hawaii is perfect temperature all the time. God, does it get boring?
Really?
It's
Oh,
perfect. It's perfect every day, Rosa. Every
What
day.
about
that's
the rain?
We get little spats of it, but I mean, come on, it's nothing. Hawaii is always the same. It's a sunny, beautiful day. The mountains get mist and create rainbows all over the place every day, several times a day. But the place where the
Sounds
people
terrible.
live is exactly perfectly like 83 degrees.
Wow.
wow. That sounds
I'd rather die than go to heaven.
Dude, I lived there for 7 years. It's boring as hell. I miss the seasons. I don't even get all 4 seasons here, but at least I get some. I mean, Hawaii, my God, dude. But it's you guys don't even understand how broken it is. I mean, I literally, because the mayor and the governor, government had been working to communicate with the snakehead, Chinese triad, mafia types for a very long
ugh.
time, and they had failed miserably. And they said because I had lived in China and I
Mhm.
spoke Chinese. And I had an Asian wife. They're like, "Hey, let's try it with this guy." And I was like, "Okay." So you know what I
Okay.
did? I was incredibly successful, by the way. So much so that George W. Bush gave me an award. I have it sitting right over here.
Um,
Oh, neat. Next to
Yeah.
your saxophone?
No, it had nothing to do with my saxophone. It had to do with my job.
Oh,
But
Next to
okay.
your
Any award for
saxophone.
marksmanship.
well, no, but listen to the
Oh.
absolute genius of me. The genius
Mhm.
things I did to bring the Chinese mafia around. Listen, I'll give you. I'll let you know my secrets, my amazing geniusness. You know what I did?
Cool.
I went down to their meetings, which they allowed me into, and you know what I did? I shut up and listened.
good
Okay.
job.
Yeah, I just shut up for months and listened. And occasionally they started asking me questions. Then they started asking me more questions. And then eventually they asked me, okay, what do you want? Took about 6, 8
Wow.
months, right, of me just shutting up and listening. And then I was able to get their help. I was able to push all the homeless out of Chinatown. I was able to put a police substation in Chinatown. I was able to clean up all the streets, get all the drugs out of there, because the Chinese they had their own drugs, but they do those things inside, not outside. So I got rid of their competition is really what I did, et cetera, et cetera. All with the blessing of the Chinese mafia, and the absolute elation or just excitement of the government in Hawaii. And all I had to do was shut up and listen. And they had been doing this for decades, trying to communicate with the Chinese mafia, and they had gotten nowhere. And then I went in and just shut up.
Just be present.
Yeah,
Listen.
that's right. Just shut up and listen.
Mhm.
Right? I mean,
Yep.
and of course, I learned that living over in Asia. That's how you deal with the Asians. Just shut up and be quiet. Eventually, they'll get to you. I mean,
Eventually they'll go like, I'm still here.
yeah. But how what a genius I am, right?
Mhm.
Goodness
Very
gracious.
good.
No, it's stupid. It's
Got
stupid,
the
is what it is.
you never got
Being a
the
good listener?
Go ahead, Alan.
Chinatown.
No, no, I didn't get none of that. But yeah,
Okay.
and the great thing is, I became really good friends with those old men. They were really nice to
Oh,
me. They
nice.
fed me very well every Monday. It was
Ooh.
awesome.
Ooh.
I even had one guy who supposedly,
Mhm.
you know how people say they have like hot hands or magic hands where they can heal things? They use
Oh
crystals
yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff. I always thought, that's
Mhm.
complete bunk. It's just hokum, right? But the one of the old elders, this is a mafia guy, right?
Yeah.
One of the elder
Mhm.
guys, he came over and he because I have Erb's palsy in my left arm, right? And
Okay.
he came over and he put his hand on it and he would do that every week. He would like just put his hands on my shoulder. It actually felt better.
Aw.
You got
So
Mr. Miyagi.
Nice.
I did, but I don't know what to tell you. It worked. It could have been
Viola.
100% placebo, I suppose. But I don't know what to tell you. But they were real nice to me. I love those guys.
Aw.
Good
hmm
Chinese mafia. Um,
Well, you know what I mean,
Oh,
Rosa. It's
that's
so
yeah.
stupid that a government so dumb they can't just
Mhm.
shut up and listen, right? That's my point.
Right.
They just so arrogant and so dogmatic that they couldn't just shut up.
and get it. Yeah.
It's insane to me.
I'm sorry,
Mhm.
but you use it to your advantage to create the perfect international relations with the Chinese mafia.
I did at that moment, and I did clean it up. It was great for a while, and now here we are, 20 years later, and my wife and I watched the special on Honolulu and
Mhm.
Chinatown, particularly, and it's gone back to absolute shit.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah.
Where'd you send
Think
all
they
the
wouldn't?
homeless?
What did I do? Well, I don't care.
No, where
This, what
did you
did they
send
do?
all the homeless? Where did they end up
Oh
going?
no, because I had such ultimate freedom and no one was going to mess with me, including the police. I literally walked around with a baseball bat and just smacked heads until they left.
He's
Oh,
not.
I thought you sent them to the mainland or something.
No. I tell them get the hell out, and of course I didn't attack them until they attacked me. But that's what homeless bums do, you know.
Mm.
So I was, slightly antagonizing a little bit, but yeah,
Sure.
no, I just whooped the hell out of a couple of them, and they got the messages and they left.
Huh. And where they put themselves. Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
Yep, that was up to them.
Yeah, because the system in he's Elrod was 100% correct. It's not just California, places also like New York, would
Mhm.
literally pay
Mhm.
for air flights and send those homeless people over to Hawaii. They literally did that, and then
Oh
the
my
legal
God.
system would put them in jail and immediately let them out, saying we're over full. Right? So there was
Every
no
big city does it.
retribution. Yeah, no, it's horrible though, Elrod. I mean,
Mhm.
they're
Oh, I
stabbing
know.
people, they're stealing from people. It's not like, oh, this poor guy's down in his luck. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about
They're
drug
pretty.
heads that murder people and rape people. That's what we're talking about,
It's
right?
like druggies and
These are-
mentally,
I
you know.
Yeah.
I rarely feel bad for the homeless. It's usually that 100%. Some crazy druggie that needs to be put down.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's
I have no
bad. It's
sympathy.
not like the Will Smith movie.
Yeah, it's not like
And
it's not.
this
Yeah,
is the-
it's never Will Smith.
No, because those people find help. Because there is help if you look
Yeah.
for it. There is help if you look for it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's never Will Smith. It's always some a-hole druggie, some fucking half retard, doesn't know how to fucking
Mhm.
behave, got kicked out of his house, probably killed his aunt, whatever. They need
Well,
to be put down like dogs.
like even after it took a while to clean it up 100%, but even after I got that substation, that police substation put in there in the corner of downtown Chinatown there,
Mhm.
I came driving home. There's a brand new substation sitting right there, and literally
Mhm.
like 20 yards before the window where they could see it, in the middle of the damn street, across street, by the way. I'm coming back to where I was living at that time, and there's
Mhm.
two bums fighting in the damn street. I
Oh
literally
my
stopped the
God.
car. I told my wife, take the car back home. I picked them up both up by the
Camera.
scruff of their neck and threw them into the police station.
Which is right there. Thank you.
It's
Were they fighting over a ham
ridiculous.
sandwich?
I don't know what
Oh
the
my
hell they were
God.
fighting up, but they were just beating the shit out of each other in the middle of the day. It's a cross section. There's literally,
That's what.
I mean, what the hell, dude?
Nobody lays a finger on his butterfinger, man.
I guess not.
I mean, that's just. How do people even?
Yeah, no, it's really despicable stuff. We're not talking about people down on their luck or when that's not what this is about. It's not
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I'm not talking about either. Yeah, I'm not talking about that either, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm talking
Yeah.
about exactly what you're talking about. Those just dirty drug addict bums. They're just there to
Yep.
leech off of society.
Yeah.
They
No,
don't even want to try to be good people. They just want to take and take and take. Fuck them.
no, they do.
It's
And
like them, and it's the ones who can't take care of themselves. It's like the two types you have. usually.
right, but those people
Yeah.
aren't really troubled though.
No.
And the church usually comes up and ends up being helpful to them. But no, we used to have asylums and places like that for these people because they're just
Mhm.
criminals, right? Now, so you could be a bleeding heart and say, well, the drugs have done it to them. Well, okay, fine, but that doesn't change the reality of it.
Right. hmm And they still need to get help, and they still need to
Yep.
change
They don't
somehow.
want to change. They have
No.
no
And that's
interest
Don't
in
the
want
it.
to change.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's
That's
like part of like the
really it.
mental
They
illness
don't
thing
want to
too.
change.
It's like they don't want to live inside. They don't want help. It's like they
I
can't.
don't want to work.
No.
No.
Well,
They just.
No.
we had a litmus test, and I worked downtown with the homeless in Dallas, and you're right. There are two kinds of people. They're the ones that literally got kicked out overnight. They're looking for help. They
Right.
try to find it. Usually they'll be sleeping in their car or they're sleeping.
Mhm.
Try to.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can find them. They'll come in, and if you say, "Meet me," if you want help, go here. And we didn't hand out money. We handed out cards. Go to this station, get some help. We'll be there waiting for you. And it would have a bus ticket. The ones who wanted help, the other ones would throw down the card and walk away, and that was your litmus test. The ones that
Mhm.
wanted to find a place. We always had a place for women and children. We always had drug addiction programs, and I
That's
have had
good.
my drug addiction programs because I'm a group leader with one of our ladies groups.
Sure.
Back when, yeah, and there are help for the ones that want it, and there are
Yeah.
people that do go back, but there is a vast majority that they go back to that lifestyle because that is what they wanted. And when they want, when you offer them the chance, if you offer them a good faith chance, and that's what you really want to have, and that was why the church was there, offer them
Sure.
a good faith chance, and there will probably be, I would say, probably about a third of them will take up that chance, go and try to find help.
Oh no,
The
no.
other ones
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. The church is a
what,
wonderful help. That's where we used to deal. That's what welfare was. The church.
Yes.
yeah,
right?
It
And
was
churches do wonderful things like in this way, and that's great. But I'll give you an example. I was walking patrol through Chinatown one night, and I had roused a few drug heads and a couple of
Hey,
drunks
move
and
along,
stuff
move
like that.
along there.
Well, basically is what I was doing, right? This is before I got
Nothing
the
more to see
substation on.
here. Hey.
But I come along and we had a lot of like kind of old style entryways that kind of go into into the building a little bit, creating an alcove. And they're all boarded up, right? Because there's no business there because it's too much damn drugs and homelessness and violence. But I kind of walking along and I see this damn bum. He's not even drunk, right? He's completely sober and he's raping an old Chinese woman. I mean, an old Chinese woman. She must have been 70, 80 years old, right? Of course, I picked him up, kicked him in his damn balls, helped the lady up, and she went scurrying off. I don't really know what happened to her, but I basically took him, walked him down the street, went into the gambling den, which is illegal, but I went into the Chinese gambling den, threw him down, told the Chinese what he had just done, and walked out.
Huh, wonder what happened.
I don't care. I mean, what kind of human rapes an old lady? What the hell's wrong with you?
crime of opportunity.
Yeah, it's that's ridiculous. He's lucky I didn't murder him myself.
Yeah, it was, good of you to give someone else the opportunity or them
Well,
to give you the.
because one of the things the Chinese mafia guys wanted was control over their territory, and that included policing of it. Because one of the problems that the government and the mafia guys were having was the government was interfering with their attempts to actually maintain peace in the place. Right? Because the government's in charge of that, but the Chinese they're arrogant too. And no, that's our responsibility. These are our people. The Chinese don't play with others, you see. So, a simple act of me bringing this monster and just dumping him at their doorstep, they appreciate that. Should they thank me for it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Because they want to take care. Hopefully, because they want their like families and people there to have a safe place to be too. I've heard some places like I think it's weird, maybe a little, but that the mafia actually does try to keep a peaceful environment for people who are kind of outside of.
That's the whole point of paying protection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's literally their job.
That's literally their job. Yeah.
So that would include people outside of their direct jurisdiction. Like it doesn't just mean we won't pick on you, but if let's say, oh, I don't know, another state decides to send over a bunch of, criminals and say, here, you can live here, that they would also deal with that.
They don't like it, but they had dealt with a few of them harshly, and the government came down on them, and they arrested a bunch of them, and it was like a war between them and the government, and I guess the government was kind of had their hands up, and because they weren't winning it, that's why I was brought in, and luckily I was able to find, or at least temporarily, because it's all broken again, at least I was able to, because literally all I did was just shut up. I didn't do anything special, nothing genius, nothing miraculous. I just shut up. So
they did here in California, by the way. They bust in a bunch of homeless from out of state.
They did
to incentivize their program.
Yeah, no, they did. They did. That's exactly what they did. Yeah. You don't understand how communist Hawaii is, guys. You really don't understand.
Wow, it's that far gone, huh?
It's so far gone. I was in the government there at the time. Donald Trump came to Hawaii with an offer, right? This is way before Obama fucked up and pissed him off enough to run for president. And Trump, of course, is a builder. That's what he does. He builds hotels, casinos, golf courses is what he does. And he came to Hawaii and he offered to build the largest casino on planet Earth.
Whoa.
In Hawaii.
Cool.
And of course, they declined him, and they came up with all kind of public reasons why they declined it, even though the public itself was very much for it. But I was in the government, so I know exactly what happened. And what was happening is the Chinese were paying all kinds of kickbacks to everybody involved in the government at that kind of level because they were building Macau at the time, and they didn't want any competition from Hawaii.
Well, let me ask this: have you seen what Texas is doing about all the edicts for they're not going to for about China cracking down on payola at the local level from Chinese?
No, and it's a good thing because it's cracking. China is cracking hardcore right now. Their economy is on the floor. All the companies are leaving China. Huge number. Even Foxconn is almost completely gone from China. Right? They're all moving to Southeast Asia, India, which
Australia.
yeah, and they're having political uprising all the time in China right now. It's gotten so bad that you had a bunch of. I'll give you an example. It just happened last week, right? There was this popular song, I think. I can't remember what song it was. I think it was a Chinese song, but it might have been a foreign song. But it's about bike riding bicycles. It's not the Queen song. And they all were, yeah, it's not that one. But they were all enjoying, thousands of them were riding bikes through the street, going on little mini vacations on their bikes, just having fun. But because in China, it is nice. The same thing happened with Halloween, people just wearing costumes. But in China, with the CCP, if you ever have a group of people gather, that's dangerous. Therefore, anything that causes people to gather, they make illegal. So now it's illegal to ride bikes in China.
What? But that's how people get around.
They don't care. They had the same thing with scooters. You had a lot of people because the economy's crashing, right? So you had a lot of people doing Uber type things on their scooters, but there was too many of them gathering and waiting for work, and it's not good. You can't have people gather together. So they basically went and sent cops with trucks and stole everyone's scooters. Millions and millions of them, literally piled up like the kind of the old comic or cartoon image of a trash yard, right? That's like a mountain of trash, but they're bikes. You can go find the photos if you'd like. Yeah, yeah. The Chinese government, the CCP is whack. They're at. Can I use that word still, Eric? Whack.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will allow it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Eric.
Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, no, China's in bad situation, and Trump coming.
So I guess if things are bad for them now, they're being maybe more hysterical because that doesn't seem smart.
That's right.
Oh,
Well, these are how these things die in hysteria.
You go calm down, and you might be able to save this. Nah, I'll just burn.
Oh, they could have saved it several times.
Cuba.
Yeah.
Cuba in a lot of the provinces use nothing but Chinese bikes to get around. So that's kind of funny that you're saying that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Really?
Well, Cuba's another country that we just abandoned, didn't we?
It's all right.
I don't think so. I think it was quite a fun part of the American experience, actually. And we just let it go.
Yeah, but I got family there. I know what I'm talking about. You don't want to go there.
Yeah, we got the cigars. We got the sandwich. We're good.
Oh, the
sandwich.
And the coffee.
The sandwich is great. But no, you know what I'm saying. We could have went in and dealt with that and dealt with Castro and stopped that from happening if we wanted to. But we didn't.
Yeah, but we put him in power.
Right now it's the perfect time.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point, Elrod. Yeah.
The Bay of Pigs. The Bay of Pigs.
Yep, and there's the
This is
reason
now a
why.
luxury resort for white people.
I can tell you right now, they still got those missiles. I saw them with my own eyes.
Really?
Sure.
Tell a story.
I had it was my first time there. I was like 12 years old, and I was in Cuba, and we were driving at night, and suddenly the driver went into the grass and turned off the lights, and then he's like, "Get out of the car!" And we all had to run under a bush
Dude.
like the freaking hobbits. You know how the hobbits were running away from the fucking from the wraith.
That's
That
cool.
was that. And what it was that we had to make way for the military that were doing like a midnight, I don't know, transportation, and their lights were dim too. By the way, didn't have like a
Oh.
bunch of lights at all.
Oh,
But it
whoa.
was
Okay.
jets, missiles. It was a bunch of military stuff. They are not unarmed.
No,
Wow.
of course they weren't, but we still could have dealt with that quite easily if we wanted to. We just
Yeah,
didn't want
now
to.
I'm 12 years old. I couldn't tell you if they're all like good ships. For all I know, it's the same commie jets. The
Just be a
60s. For all
shell.
I know, right?
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean.
Mm.
Did
But yeah,
you
they
see
are not.
Camacho?
No,
He's very famous Cuban.
Camacho. I thought Camacho was Puerto Rican.
Not
Macho
that.
Camacho.
Not the musician Camacho.
Oh
Not
no.
the president of 500 years in the future.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. The president.
Yeah. Yeah,
Did you
that's
see-
our president you're talking
Did
about.
you see Gloria Estefan?
No, she's in Miami.
Well, yeah, but she's from
Sound
Cuba.
machining.
How about Oscar
Was
Nunez?
her husband. What did I say? Did I say
He's,
anyone famous?
he's
over
pretty
there?
funny. I like Oscar Nunez. He's funny. No?
Oscar Nunez.
No?
No, Oscar Nunez. No, Gloria Estefan. I did see. I used to live in Miami when I was a kid, and we would run into famous people. I didn't know who the hell they were.
Right. But
Will
your parents would go,
Smith.
hey,
Isn't Sammy Davis Jr. Cuban?
A Satanist?
Well, maybe, but wasn't he also like a Cuban?
No, he was a black
I don't
man.
remember.
I'm a black Jewish man. Sorry.
Yeah,
The
well,
black and Jewish.
Yeah.
well, there are a lot of black
I
people
thought he
in
was a
Cuba,
hip
you
cat.
know.
I got black cousins and stuff. You wouldn't know it if you saw me. I look like a son of John Wayne or something. Like I do not look Cuban at all. But
Well, there's all kind of
I'm
colors
the
on
albino of the
Cuba.
house.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. Because we have that perfect mix of Spaniard and whatever my grandma's side is, like Arab and black and all kinds of stuff. Asian.
They are quite mixed. I mean, of course, it was very mixed place. Cuba was one of the big initial slave markets, right?
Yeah. But no, my grandpa's side's different. They're like blonde hair, blue eyed Spaniards.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
my great grandma was the bastard child of aristocrat or something.
Dude, sweet. Fun.
But because she had that blonde blood, she thought she was still better than everyone else, even though she was like a bastard. Like she's like, you know what I mean?
Sure. Well, we're American. We're all bastards, aren't we?
Yeah.
Lucy's husband was Cuban. Yeah, Desi
I didn't
Arnaz
even know
was.
who my dad was.
He was
Yeah,
Cuban.
Desi was.
wasn't he? Yeah.
It was
I think
fun.
I think him and I'm pretty sure Sammy was Cuban before the Communist Revolution, wasn't he? I mean,
Before his missile crisis.
well, no, like his parents or something. I'm pretty sure I heard something about Sammy Davis being Cuban, or his family being
Maybe that was
Cuban.
Perry Belafonte,
Maybe.
the other famous black guy from the 60s.
Well, he also had
Who
Sidney
sings Dale.
Poitier.
Oh yeah, and Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
So you had like 4 of them.
Oh, Bill Cosby used Spanish fly, but he wasn't Cuban.
Oh dear, no.
That was his. That's what he would say.
I'm so scared. Oh,
Why are you laughing like that, Bill? No reason.
I just came up with the script for Ghost Dad.
That's the real reason he went to prison.
Went from prison
Girls,
for
just
Ghost
so
Dad.
you know.
For the rapes, I'm giving you 6 months. For Ghost Dad, 2 years.
Oh goodness. But girls, just so you know, Spanish fly is a powder that is created from the I think it's called the Lita vesicatori, maybe, but it's like a green beetle, and they powder it up, and it's used as a aphrodisiac, just to help
Oh,
you
so
out.
you use it to style your hair? What?
Yeah, that's what Spanish fly is.
So it's like
I
Soul
think
Glow before Soul Glow?
Well,
Let your soul
sure,
glow.
sure, okay. Yeah, I am so happy that the days of that are gone, dude. That drippy drippy hair is never a good thing, dude. I lived on the tail end of that, right? I got to see some of that, and oh, I hated that shit, dude. So disgusting, so dirty.
Mm.
Am I allowed to say that, Eric?
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it, bud.
Okay.
They did such a great job with
Mm.
in Coming to America with that.
They did. They did a great job. It was funny. Because
Because
I mean,
even at that time, it was going away, right? Because the guy that used it was sort of a relic.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like it was
yeah,
the
yeah.
other boyfriend. People are just like, oh, I can't believe he uses that stuff.
I think it was embarrassing to the black people as well. Bill says Spanish fly is Beetlejuice. Yeah, well, yeah, it is. That's what it is. And Alpha Proto says, gross.
But it is not.
I remember one kid when I must have been like 9 or 10 or something like that. He was a little bit older kid, and we were down in this kind of little off the road area that was still had a forest in it and had like this kind of dirt mound area where we used to play with our matchbox cars and our GI Joes.
There you go.
Yeah,
Magic.
and we were in there playing GI Joes, and this kid was talking about Spanish Fly. Of course, none of us knew what the hell that was. But he says, "Yeah, I know what it is." And then he came back another day to show us it. And of course, for years, I thought Spanish Fly was a ribbed condom.
What?
Because that's what he showed us. He
Wow.
said, "This is what Spanish Fly is."
Oh, Chester.
What? That's a true story.
Wow.
The things you remember and things.
I was a kid. I didn't know what Spanish Fly was until I became educated.
Yeah, all you knew is they had it for $0.25 in the gas station. And those machines, along with the French ticklers and the...
Right.
Dad, why are paper towels 50 cents?
French ticklers.
Tell you later, son.
I haven't
Tell you
heard
later.
that in quite the while, dude.
That happened. My preacher was on a trip, and one of the kids came out of the restroom of the rest area. He was like, "Pastor, what?" And he's like, he was soaked, like his shirt was wet, his hands were soaked. And they're like, didn't use a paper. He's like, they didn't have paper towels. They cost 50 cents each, and you have to put the quarters back to back.
Jeez.
And he was just like, "Oh well, talk to your dad about that."
Yeah, right. French tickler, for those you guys want to know, is it's like a ribbed condom, but it has bumps on it instead.
It's also the name of my French superhero.
Oh, fair.
The French tickler.
Holy no.
The French
No.
tickler. He will tickle you into, I don't know, prison? That isn't right. We shouldn't say that. Yeah. So everyone should know that Eric is against me educating the public. So
Fine.
Why's that?
Ooh.
because you didn't like my Spanish fly joke or story.
Oh, no, I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you were a kid, you were given misinformation by the older kids all the time, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, it was something you spiked a girl's drink with. And
Oh yeah. Well,
And they
technically
would
you could.
they would want to get with you
Yes.
immediately
Yes. Yes.
as soon as they
Oh, in
tried it.
movies, yeah, that worked, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like that was like a staple of '80s movies because it was
Yeah.
like a
Did you
a
know?
potion bottle.
Right. Right. Well, no, I love. I remember when I was on elementary school on the school bus. Right. You're elementary school on the school bus, and how many kids loved. I don't know where they got it from, because I had never heard it before. But then again, I had very strict Protestant parents. But somewhere they picked up this phrase: you ain't had no pussy since pussy had you." Right.
I
And I'm
remember
like,
that one.
yeah.
What?
And yeah, no, of course. I don't know where it came from, but of course, here I am, a little 8-year-old, 9-year-old, me, and as weird as I am, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you are not having coitus.
I can't wait to tell this to my mom when I get home.
Did you
Right?
just say coitus?
I did.
You know, I will. Just like I said a couple weeks ago, you are Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
What?
Isn't that what every 8-year-old says?
I was weird. I was weird.
When
I
I'm
was.
older, I'll have coitus.
Well, that's what came into my head because I was like, I don't think you're actually having sex.
Chester, you know you have to create the poll this week, right?
Oh God. Yeah. Okay. Let me do that then. Alrighty.
Oh, for quite sake.
No.
Oh goodness. Kids back in the 70s, 80s though, they had all kind of raunchy things they'd say all the time. Little elementary school kids, right? Just raunchy as hell, dude.
I learned English.
Now I'm kind of curious because the girls here are younger than the rest of us. Have
We
did
assume.
no, they're definitely younger than us.
I know.
But girls, when you were kids, like in elementary school, were there a lot of really raunchy kids? You were trying to speak and then nothing happened.
They're abandoning it. They're abandoning Battleship.
Well, no,
I
I don't
believe they're
need
both
referencing. I'm
muted,
just
aren't they?
curious.
Or were you homeschooled and your dad was the raunchy one?
Oh, dear. Oh.
They're both muted right now.
Oh, never mind.
Chester, don't disappoint us with these names you're going to come up with.
So let's see here. Multiple choice. That's what I want, right? Multiple choice, right? No?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So option number 1, let's see here. I got Amaran. So let's see here. Okay. Someone else talk. I got to do this.
Well, I haven't seen this cartoon,
Right.
so I can't talk about the cartoon.
True.
It's got a battleship in space.
It does.
The end.
The premise is kind of hilarious because they get a battleship from the 40s and remodel it to be a spaceship. And they got it from the bottom of the ocean where it was
The battle-
mummified, I guess, or something.
Could it take on the Enterprise?
No.
No.
I'm sure somebody has done that one. I am
It's a
sure
wonder
have.
they lost. It's pretty much what's an alien race considered? 'Cause we're considered like a civilization level 3, right? Something like that.
Oh. It seems like Titan AE had a similar plot with Earth being taken over and destroyed, and everybody having to find a new place to live.
Um.
Well, off base there.
Yeah.
Loose.
By an alien race that wanted to just wipe out all of humanity.
Right. No, they came in and they wanted to take the planet from us. And of course, there were multiple alien races, but they were all kind of after the same thing. take what's ours. And Earth was just on its knees. They just kicked the absolute hell out of us. And an alien race who, the Iscandaris, who hated them as well because they were trying to destroy their own Iskandar as well, they helped us. And they went on a desperate mission to get there and get some special thing from the planet they needed to get back in time to save the Earth. And of course, the war is kicking off. By the time they get back, the war is kicking off hardcore, right? By this time, man has produced a huge space fleet of different, more superior ships to the Yamato, really. And it's just full on war. But the Earth had been poisoned. So that was their main goal, was to get back and stop that from happening and replenish the Earth. The war continued, of course. But with the Yamato itself, and they had an incredible weapon, like a Nova Blast weapon. They were actually
Wave
able to destroy the Gamelonian planet. So,
Yeah, wave motion gun. It's my favorite
Yep.
character in the whole series. Gun.
see, I have to remember now, is Eric with a C or a K? I'm going to do with a K.
You put a K on there, I'll never come on this show again.
It's with an X.
I've never misspelled your name. You know that, right?
I know that.
Let's see here. A lot of dead air.
Oh, sorry.
Coming to an end.
I'm getting over a flu.
Aw.
And that's an
Are you
excuse or
feeling a bit
something?
better?
I can barely talk. I start coughing.
Oh, that's not good.
Say that, then it's
Aw.
like we're talking to Doc Holliday. It's great.
That's the rumor.
I'm a huckleberry.
I'll be your huckleberry.
Oh, you know what I saw
I can't believe
that has not held up at all?
What?
Young Guns.
Really?
Really?
Oh, it's terrible.
make you famous.
Yeah, I watched that like a couple of months ago on
Yeah.
on Netflix. Yeah.
Even the
Why-
peyote scene?
Yeah,
You
that
see the
feels like
size of
that
that
was a
chicken?
3-hour scene.
A 3-hour scene. A 3-hour
I
scene.
do like that Terrence Stamp at age like 60 whatever was playing a man of 24.
Right.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
His character in real life was 24.
Mm.
It's like, dang, they aged hard
Before
back
high
then.
def too.
I haven't watched that in a very long time.
The music
seen
is
that forever.
terrible. It felt like placeholder music you would put in something before you put in an actual soundtrack.
They forgot to
Oh.
put in the soundtrack.
Track, or did they not get the rights?
It had a soundtrack. It's just awful.
And
They're working on another sequel right now.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, the second one was fun, right? I remember that one a lot more. It had the Bon Jovi song.
Yeah. And Bon Jovi released an entire album inspired by the Young Guns too.
What's this one gonna be called? Old Guns?
It's
Yeah.
gonna have to be because they're all old.
They're all like 65 years old now, yeah.
Well, it's
So
like,
they can play 24 if they go by the
yeah.
Oh,
logic of the
So
first one.
Okay.
Lou Diamond Phillips was so in the second one he supposedly died, but he says he's going to be in the new one. He says no one ever saw me die; they just saw me kind of ride off looking dead on my horse, so I'm not
On
really
his
dead.
death horse.
Yeah, so
on a white
Chavez
horse.
isn't dead.
I mean,
That's
I guess
normally what a death horse means, right? Is it's taking you to the afterlife.
okay, now
Yeah.
they can
Oh, that would
do like William Shatner did for Unification.
Yeah, they're going to do that. They're going to spend like 5 years de-aging the entire cast and spending $20 zillion.
No, I actually
No,
like.
they're just going to put really bad wigs on them and say they're young.
Maybe.
Like
It's usually the.
What's that?
I mean, it has to take place in the, what, 1930s or 40s?
Yeah, is he supposed to be what Billy Brush or something Brush?
Yeah,
The guy said
the
he
second
was.
one, they even had that. The guy that claimed he was
Yeah.
Billy the Kid.
Yeah, he's aged quite a bit. I was watching him in a documentary.
Emilio?
Yes, it was
Emilio!
about it's one of the lesser known Brat Packs going around interviewing the rest of the Brat Packs to see their take on how that ruined their name, that by some journalist calling them the Brat Pack. It was horrible.
Who was doing the interviewing? C. Thomas Howell?
No, that would have been better. It was God, which one was it?
Judd
The
Nelson.
guy from Wham.
That wasn't Judd Nelson. Did you say the guy
It
looked
wasn't
like he
Billy
was in Wham?
just threw him out there because he was forgotten too.
Like, no, I'm not the guy from Wham. I'm the other Brat Pack guy that no one remembers.
Was it the
Brat
septic
Pack.
guy from Weird Science?
Or was it the
No.
guy from
Is Andrew McCarthy.
Yeah, Weekend at
The guy-
Bernie's.
Yeah, and
The other guy
Mannequin.
from Weekend at Bernie's.
And Mannequin, yeah.
Oh, Mannequin too. Wait, no, that was William Ragsdale, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like
he
Mannequin.
interviewed Emilio. He interviewed Demi Moore too, and Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy looked like she lived in a 1-bedroom apartment that she never cleans.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she looks like she owns, like, not cats, but possibly mountain lions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ali
Well, if you
Shitty?
saw
God.
Shelley, not Shelley, is it Shelley Duvall? Shelley Duvall. She did that one last
You mean
movie
Shelley
before
Duvall?
Yeah. Well, before I kept calling her Shelley Long, and I knew I was talking about the wrong one. She did interviews with a bunch of people about that movie she did, and it looked like she was living in her van.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah, they made her look terrible. Like, some interviewer did that on purpose. It was awful.
Oh, a few
It
of
was
them
like
interviewed
Inside
her. These
Edition is one of
YouTubers.
those
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah, she looked bad. The Grim Life Collective. If you ever watched that
Yeah,
channel.
that's a really good interview. The one they did with her.
And
Yeah,
that
she was
movie
just like
is
living
horrible.
in Texas and happy. And it was like,
Yeah.
it was one of those big tabloid shows that were like, oh, she's homeless and destitute. Look at her.
Mm.
And she's like,
I paid $3 to watch that movie because it was her last movie, and it finally released on Amazon and other streaming services. It's god awful. It might be the worst movie I've ever seen. The Forest something, I can't remember the name of it now, but it was crowdfunded, and it was her last role, and it had the chick from Cujo in it too, Dee Wallace. Oh, and Edward Furlong's in it too.
Oh, that should have been the the warning right there.
The red flag.
It's just horrible. It is the most god awful thing I've ever watched. It's supposed to be a werewolf movie, and it's just bad.
Wow.
Oh, you can't do that on a low budget for sure.
All right. Well, I think I'm ready.
Blow that kazoo, Jeff.
Da, 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 da. Okay, we're done. Everyone be done. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go through here and take a look at the art, and then I'll drop the straw poll. I do it the proper way, not like Jeff. So let's see here. So let's
judge us harshly.
I will judge you harshly. This is Omron. There's a ship. What? No, there's no ship.
No ship there.
Yeah, this is Mori-san or Mori-chan, of course, and she was certainly one of the more favorite characters. She had a sound head on her shoulders. This one, she really did, and of course, she's far more voluptuous here than she was. But this is Omron.
Under.
Very nice.
It's
And I
armor
love
on.
it is, and I love how we have the prow of the Yamato in the background there, as it should be. That space scene must have took forever.
Yeah,
Space.
it took 17 hours.
hmm
Jester, those space scenes are really hard to draw.
I
They
bet.
take
So,
a
yeah, I got a
long,
Milky
long
Way
time.
background, so there you go.
Fair enough. Fair
So
enough.
this
Fair
is
enough.
that.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a good Mori-chan. Very nice. Very, very nice. If you guys like what Armor has done, please vote for him the straw poll. It's very nice. Very nice. Sexy. Now, Amy here has done the ship. She's working very diligently on the ship. It's quite good, actually. I love how she's got the bottom reference and stuff like that. Very good, Amy. Amy, your mic's not working, you know.
Is it not?
Oh,
Well,
it
maybe
is.
I can
You
fix
so
it.
you were just
Is it
chose
all-
to ignore me earlier. All right.
Wait, I think is it good now?
It is good
Yeah, it's
now.
good now. We hear you.
Okay.
It's okay. You're a right to ignore me. But we have this is going to take a while. These mechanical things are difficult, but it's certainly coming along. It looks like really a really good Yamato, and of course it's a nice angle as well. Why'd you decide to go with the ship instead of a character?
Because you said you'd like to see a drawing of the ship.
Yeah, no, that's true. I definitely want to see it. I kind of thought you would do like the robot assistant to the doctor.
Oh, is there one? That sounds cute.
Yeah,
I don't know
he's
much
an
about it.
annoying robot that was added way more than actually in the original show by the Americans because kids need like robots.
Star Wars.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Did they like reuse his animation a lot to give him more scenes, or was it actually kind of like
they
in
did, and
Robotech?
they did that, and then
Oh.
they dubbed over different scenes with the same animations. Yes, that's what they did.
They did that with Gatchaman too, right? They added that R2D2 robot.
In which one?
Yes.
Gatchaman, when it was Battle of the
Oh,
Planets
right.
in America, there was like their boss was like a R2D2 that was always getting out of the shower.
Yeah, that one.
I
Well,
don't know. It
that
was
was
some
weirder.
random cartoon, but it was very weird.
Yeah. Well, that's another one though, kind of like the original Godzilla. I saw the American one, which isn't really that great, but then I saw the Japanese one and was like, whoa, that's a actual great movie. It's the same thing with Gatchaman. Battle of the Planets is what it was called in America, but they hacked it up because it's an adult thing. It's not meant for kids,
Right.
and they tried to make it for kids and they ruined it. If you go watch the
Yeah,
original
it was
Gatchaman,
dark.
it's amazing. Yeah.
It was very dark.
It is super dark. Yeah, it's very sexual. It's not made for kids though. It's an adult
No.
animation series. Yeah.
Would it have been possible? Well, I mean, it seems
Well,
like
in
if you
the-
had something like that, you
In the Japanese one, Earth is like in ruins, right?
Oh yeah, no,
Like
it's
Yeah.
it had
really
already
bad.
been
It's really,
destroyed by
really
the
bad.
aliens.
Yeah. And they create super soldiers to try to help defend Earth is what they do. But the thing is, in Japan, you would have nighttime, prime time animation films for adults, not for kids.
Right.
But in America, you can't do that because cartoons are lame. Was the
Right.
concept, right?
I was invented where?
The robot's name was 7 Zark 7.
7 Zark
Yep.
7. Very good. But if you like what Amy's done, please vote for her on the straw poll. Hopefully, she'll get some color on that. Now, Eric, this is great. This is great. I love.
Thanks.
We have Captain Avatar here, of course, before he died.
Mm.
So sad.
Spoiling.
I love the silhouette of the ship. Did you just grab a silhouette, or did you draw that?
I drew it. I just knew I wasn't going to have time to detail it, so I just
No,
silhouetted it.
that's amazing. The fact that you got that
Hand
done
up,
so
check it
quickly.
out.
And the captain
Yeah.
turned out great. He looks really good. He looks really good. It's interesting you
Thanks.
doing.
I don't want to.
Mhm.
I don't want to open old wounds, but isn't Eric great at anime?
He is.
Yeah.
God.
Doug thinks so.
Oh.
Doug thinks so.
No, I'm in Doug's boat here. I do not like anime. I do not like drawing anime, but I do decent drawing it.
Yay.
Yeah, it looks good, dude.
I'm still not going to do it for going forward. Only when we have to.
Right.
Which unfortunately, our next show will be anime too.
Really? What's the next show?
Well, we're off next week, but the week after that, when we come back, because next week's Thanksgiving here in the States, so nobody's going to draw.
Yay.
We're just 80s anime.
Oh, well, you don't want to
Again?
expand that into just 80s animated?
No.
Okay, all right. I was say because that opens up Thunder the Barbarian. It opens up
Yeah.
G.I. Joe.
No, we're
Gemini
going to stick to
Daniels.
anime because we avoid anime quite a bit, so we're going to just anime.
That's
Seems
fine.
like we do it all the time.
It does
What
come up.
about American
Another-
animations that had episodes animated in Japan?
That's true. We have discontending voices though. But if you like what Eric has done, please vote from the straw poll. It's great. I love it.
Thanks.
Elrod, what you got going on, dude? Oh, that's not Yamato.
That's Red Sonja.
It is.
At like 50% done. I did Captain Burly Man. Fire! His famous
Captain
catchphrase.
Chester.
Fire! Fire! And then I did the pilot that I had a toy of.
Yeah.
Oh,
The action figure was cool, but I don't know.
Yeah, they weren't discriminating. There were male and female pilots. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that. It's never happened until just recently.
Yeah, that's the first. Wasn't it an actress like a year ago that's like the first action star ever?
Yeah, there was. I think her name was Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was it Jennifer
Lawrence?
Yeah.
First
pioneer.
ever. First ever. Yeah. You do hear a lot of nonsense. I saw an actual an American congresswoman, a black lady. I know you'll be shocked. She said she was the 56 only. I'm kind of wondering when it'll become normal. 57, 58, 59. I'm kind of curious where the number is, seeing as they only make up 6% of the population. But whatever. But she was like, "You show me where other people were taken from their homes and brought into slavery. How long you got?"
All of history? It's a
You got to
tragedy.
go all
That's
the way
why
back to Genesis and just go from there.
Well, what are the old dudes in the room actually said? You could start with Exodus.
yeah.
I thought that was great. This is some old crotchety congressman, right?
Mhm.
But it's just, they make these dumb statements all the time, don't they? But anyway, this is great. Thank you very much, Elrod. If you guys like what he's done, please vote from the straw poll. Now, Melissa has been working diligently here on Mori-san, or the princess? No, Mori. It's Mori. Very nice. Look at that. She's giving orders. She was actually one of the more level-headed ones. She saved the day many times. Keep in mind, a lot of those old Japanese things, the women were often heroines.
Yes, they were.
They were pretty respected.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
Well, that's good.
Why
They're
not?
part of the community and helped people. That's awesome. And we're able to keep things shipshape. It makes sense.
Well, it's a normal society. Men and women are both involved. Shocking.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We all do stuff. We're trying to get in trouble.
Was the live action one any good, Chester?
No, don't
Have you
even
seen it?
talk about it. Why did you bring it up? Why'd you do that? It's full of.
It has a good trailer, but I saw clips and they just looked awful.
Oh, it is awful, and the actors are horrible because they're all these gay girly boy band types they're hired because their company has power. It's the absolute worst casting in pretty much anything I've ever seen. It's so bad, and the Japanese were irritated to the nth degree with that movie. They won't even speak it in public.
Good too, right? Like it opened big.
It bombed. Well,
And
it
then
probably
it
did
bombed
open.
after
It probably
that.
did open well. Yeah, but after that, instantly there was this huge pushback. The Japanese were pissed because Yamato is sacred over here, dude.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah,
Well, I
they were
hated
very mad.
they did the modern Captain Harlock, and I waited so long for that, and it's terrible too.
Yeah, but it's nowhere near as bad as that though. And that was you're talking about the animated one, right?
Yeah, the CGI one where they tried to put like 40 years of history into like a half hour
Yeah, it was
and just
dumb.
ruined it.
They should have just done a series if that's what they wanted to do.
Like they had all the little touchstone moments, but it's like, no, you kind of need to set that stuff up, like the passing in the mantle.
Yeah,
which is like, it's cool that someone takes the name, but it's like, you're doing that way too soon because we haven't met the original guy yet.
Yeah. No, the Japanese have become very, very sensitive to live action remakes of anime or manga. They really, really don't like it. And that's why we've gone quite a stretch without seeing one because they really don't like it. And I don't blame them because I've seen a few of them and I was like, whoa, that's bad. Anyway, if you like what
just as bad as the ones we do of it. Like they ruin it as bad as we do. That's what's great.
Nobody makes live action anime very well.
No, it is what it is, right? And live action, video games tend not to do well either. But nevertheless, if you guys like what Honey's done, please vote for the straw poll. Very nice. This is pretty clean, Honey. It's a good job.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Let's go over here to Mr. Motion. Jason, how you? Oh, look at that. Oh, da 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 da. The sun coming behind the planet. Da 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 dum 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 da da dum. Yamato. Dun, 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 dun,
Very cool.
Yeah. No, that definitely feels like the opening credits, dude. This is great. Fire in there.
Like the opening in general of like an epic sci-fi like movie or whatever. It's
Yeah. Saga, yeah. No, I mean, that name that does get thrown a lot around quite a bit, but Yamato is definitely a saga, without question. Yeah, they did a good job with it, which is why it's so enduring. But this is great. Thank you very much, Jason. If you guys like it, please vote from the straw poll. It's very nice. Very, very nice. And then last but certainly not least, my favorite Cuban American, well, after Desi Arnaz and Sammy Davis Jr., my third favorite Cuban American.
Fair.
Hi, Alan. What you got? This is a very memorable scene, of course.
I got something that tugged at my heartstrings, so here you go.
Yeah.
It's laying there on the ground in her hair.
The Cosmos DNA.
Oh, okay.
Which will be used. This will save Earth, but she does
Yeah.
die. I do believe.
Looked like something else to me. I wasn't sure.
No, because they were.
It's got 3 settings, Eric. That's all you gotta know.
Yeah. But no, in this scene, if I recall correctly, they were on the planet Gamelon. These two and trying to hide and escape. And she got mortally wounded during it while he's trying to save her and get her back to the ship, and then they end up destroying Gamelon. I think that's the entirety of the scene in a synopsis anyway. But it was a big moment. She dies. It's kind of like when Optimus Prime got wiped out.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wait,
I like the emotion on his face.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Optimus?
This is really good. Optimus died.
Optimus died.
He did.
What?
He did. I know.
Next thing you're going to tell me Duke died and then came back to life in a voiceover at the end.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Optimus took out the leadership of Matrix, started to hand it off, and he died right then. It fell out of his hand, and Rodimus catches it. Or Hot Rod, I'm sorry. No, he's not Rodimus yet. Hot Rod catches it and hands it to Ultra Magnus, and Optimus turns gray, and his lights go out in his eyes, and his head turns sideways.
Yeah. Dude, that was.
He didn't even say like one last wise thing, like a stitch in time. 9.
He said, "Don't take any wooden nickels."
Yeah.
Oh.
No, this is not. That was actually a good movie, unlike the Michael Bay crap.
Spike to watch his socks.
Yeah. Has been impactful. Nevertheless, if you guys like what Alan has done, please vote for him straw poll. All right, very good. With that, I need to drop the straw poll, so let me do so. Here we go.
Wait. I'm not on it.
You got the touch.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You are on it. I haven't shown it. You are on the straw poll, actually.
That's okay. I'm an awesome friend.
No. Give me a second
Just
to find
over
it. Here.
here.
Here it is. Okay.
I swear it's my real hair.
Oh god. Oh god. All right.
Have you seen that singer?
Which
He
one?
has an epic, like the guy that sang The Touch, Stan Bush, the
Stan
voice
Bush.
of Bloodsport. Check out his YouTube channel because he has modern videos. They're all variations of his other songs. And he's got the greatest like Halloween store wig that an old man could have.
That's special.
And you'd know he's just like, it's real, man, real hair. Don't touch it, don't touch it. I swear it's real.
Two
Don't touch it.
songs on the Transformers soundtrack, The Touch and what's the other one?
You got the touch.
Something about believing.
Dare.
Dare to believe.
It's
Be stupid.
No, that's Weird Al. It is a song they play when Spike's son and Bumblebee, or no, Hot Rod are
It's
riding
Dare.
after fishing.
Yeah,
Dare,
it's
Dare. That's
Dare.
it. Yeah, Dare.
And then Dare to be stupid by Weird Al.
Yeah, Dare to be stupid.
Yeah, Dare to be stupid
not-
was Weird Al.
Not that I had the soundtrack on cassette, but I might have at one point.
Oh, I got
Maybe,
the
huh?
CD.
Maybe.
I got the CD, original CD, and also on iTunes.
Now, here's Rosa's, the Yamato letting its wave motion gun go off. And they did a good job. One of the things they did in Yamato really, really well was capturing that feeling, the submarine movie feeling, right? Because they're in space, they're in a ship. They really captured that, inside the submarine tension. When there's actually an episode of the original Star Trek that they're fighting Romulans, and that captures it really well too. That tension, that feel.
Elements of terror.
Yeah, it was good. And they ended up not doing anything really cool with it. They got real dumb with the Romulans for some reason. Even though they're literally Praetorians, right? Nevertheless, Rosa here has done a great little scene. So thank you very much, Rosa. If you like what she's done, please vote for the straw poll, which I've dropped. So sweet. So whilst you guys vote, I am going to go over and I'm going to show you some of the draw along. And it looks like Doug is giving me stuff to read. Adrian
Yes.
says, not the best, but I started late. I had to do the Smart Science Girl because those are some of my favorite. We should do a show
Aw.
about Leiji Masamoto's work. Yeah, we're kind of doing that right now, but you're right. Kaori Mimi, this is the smart girl, but she wasn't sexy. Mori-chan was sexy, so she got all the boys' attention. This one was just nerdy, smart girl.
Oh, Chester, you screwed that poll up.
Did I?
But she's hotter because she can help you with your homework.
Well, maybe that's fair. That's fair. How did I screw it up?
Well, we can only select one person, man.
I said multiple choice. You guys said yes.
I like being able to go in there and seeing who's ahead of me and move them down to the bottom. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I don't know. I asked you guys. You said yeah, multiple
That's
choice.
real cheating right there.
Oh, I'm horrible.
Okay.
That's it. I'm posting it to everyone
He
I
did
know.
the best he could with what.
Well, I don't usually do it, so I don't know. I guess it's not the multiple choice button. It's got to be
You're
another one.
fine. I just like giving you a hard time. You know.
That's
that.
fair. Let's see here. Now, this is from Jason Gonzalez, of course, or Thunder Rat. Wow, dude.
That's awesome.
No, look at that.
Well, that's great times.
That's really good. That's really, really, really good. Yeah. I mean, Eric gave us a more accurate, anime version, but this right here, I mean, that's wow, dude. Captain Avatar.
Yeah.
It's really
He's
good.
good.
Yeah, Jason, man, that's nice. See, if you came in here, you could win though. But then you would have to go talk to Mike Miller. I don't know how you feel about that.
You could knock armor on off his pedestal.
Yes.
Good luck.
All right. Good luck, bitches.
Ooh.
That's what I heard. All right. So I got to go over to Twitter and we definitely have an opinion here from Doug today. Very much so.
Yeah.
All righty. So let me go over here to Twitter.
DuckTales.
Let's see if I can find anything interesting. I don't even know how you Cristiano. Ronaldo.
Well,
Okay.
apparently to find interesting stuff right now, you have to go over to Blue Sky.
Oh,
That's where everybody's gone over there.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not gonna trick me.
No.
Yeah, I made an
Well,
account on
that was
there, but
cute.
I'm not. I'm not.
That was
I'm not-
cute.
Everybody's doing it.
The Trump dance, yeah.
All the
Dude,
losers are doing the
they're even doing it in China, man. There's been videos come out of China of them doing the Trump dance, dude.
Really?
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah.
That's got to really get under the skin of the losing side. That
The people who backed them are still doing the Trump dance.
Right, Trump has his own dance. Yeah.
and
Kamala
that
deserves
it's
the
become
dance.
like so big.
Kamala's dance, we'll just call it the spastic. Am I allowed to say that?
No.
Kamala's got the cackle.
Mm-hmm. She'll always be the Joker.
Yeah, okay.
Picture my pretty man.
That's cute.
Okay. It's kind of, this is so stupid. Jaguar.
Oh, that's the Jaguar
Oh,
commercial.
that, yes.
Jeez.
Oh, no.
There's not even a car in the video, dude. It's like, are you okay?
They took out
Well,
the logo.
You know what? It's bad enough Jaguar is making SUVs. We don't have to talk about their horrible crayon commercial.
Oh, and they're going full electric, by the way. They're not going to make any of those horrible gas-powered things anymore. Well, you're out of business. Maybe someone will buy you in the future. But yeah, Putin has come out and said he will negotiate a ceasefire, but only with Trump. Uh-oh.
I love them.
The last millisecond. Come in. You can do it. You can do it, Mr. Nerdy. Good job. Good job. Good job. Oh, you were doing so good. You're doing so good. You were doing so good. Oh, pickles. Pickles. Pickles.
That's my
Pickles.
cat name.
Aw, what'd you break the basketball for?
Oh,
It looks like a hernia. Oh my god. Oh.
oh no. Ah. Oh.
Slow motion is cool, dude.
That should have been Jake Paul's face.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's why that hurts so much.
The grenade effect.
Oh.
Very nice.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Should be an Olympic sport.
Wow.
Yeah, no, slow motion is super cool. I think that's probably going to be it for today. Oh, goodness gracious. What are you doing?
Oh.
Oh, you're going to get it now, little girl. You're going in, you're going in the boot. You're going in the boot. I don't know what that is. You're not. What are you doing, moron?
Looking her out.
Only in Japan. What is only in Japan?
A butt for a train seat?
Guts.
Well, innovation that's actually helpful. You know.
Excuse me.
Okay. Oh, look.
Yeah,
you can
for not wearing a mask in a public area.
That was like if you have a bigger butt.
Yeah, no, that's just for putting your legs up. But no, Oriental people wear masks all the time, guys. That was nothing new for them at all. Yeah. Hot wings,
It's
maybe.
a small thing, right?
I'm gonna have to go with the dance. I'm going with dance.
There was a dog in there doing a dance. So
Yeah, well, that little girl needs to be taught a lesson. She needs to go in the boot. Well, question. All right, let me see what we got here. All right. I prepared. You know, I used to think I was living the dream. Nice little apartment, a steady job, but that's the funny thing about dreams. Sometimes they turn into nightmares. And boy, was I ever deep in that nightmare. I was drowning in hordes of oversized eyed, spiky haired animations.
He's got issues.
Bleary eyed. Staring at flickering screens while the world outside slipped away. I mean, who was I kidding? Paying my rent with a
Cringe.
paycheck that barely covered my
This is cringe.
binge watching habits. Everything I did became a reference, a line, a
Super
plot
cringe.
twist. I lost count of how many times I yelled at my TV, hoping the characters could hear me, praying they'd pull me from this wretched life, but they never did. And now,
Page 2.
now the shadows don't feel so heavy anymore. Just a couple of mobsters, big guys with sadistic grins, plotting my fate like I'm some 2-bit antagonist. And the twisted part, the part that makes me feel like I finally hit the jackpot, is that in a few hours they're going to finish me off. And that means I won't have to watch another episode of that colorful hellscape ever again. It's a funny thing,
That was
freedom.
beautiful.
You always think it comes wrapped in a silver bow with fireworks and grand speeches, but sometimes it's just a dark silence of a last goodbye. No more plots that go nowhere. No more heated debates with friends over which character has the best backstory. Just me, clay, in the hands of fate. And I'm finally okay with that. I get to escape. To just be.
Page 3.
So here's to the end. The mobs and bullets, and to the sweet, sweet relief of never having to hear that familiar opening theme again. 'Cause honestly, who needs resolution when you can get a permanent season finale? Okay.
Play the music. Play it. Play it. Play it.
Page 4. Oh,
Yep. Neil
I
Sedaka.
like how the cigarette
choice.
smoke is the word bubble.
Now tell us about how much you hate anime.
Really?
It's funny. That's funny. Thank you, Doug. I do like monologuing. I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you. But anyway, alrighty. So let me go over here and vote myself. So let me do that. And
Test your votes for himself.
I have to. Well, I have to vote. I have
Yes.
responsibilities. I've been told I screwed up.
It's all right.
Oh well.
12 watching and only 7 votes so far. What's going on?
Hey, vote, people, vote.
Okay. Well, let's see here. Who won the Yamato drawn quartered? I have multiple choices here. I could go with Omron, the Gamalorian Vegemite dealer.
Spelled it wrong, by the way.
A lot of profit there. A lot of profit there.
Spelled it wrong, no.
Nah, I probably did. That would only be appropriate, I think. Yeah. We also could choose Amy, Zodar's PR assistant. He needs that though. He needs a lot of help, PR help particularly. We have Eric, Iscandar's princess in disguise. Well, it's a good disguise there.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good disguise. Elrod, Morty-san's secret crush. Well, your secret's safe with me, Elrod. Let's see
Maury,
here.
Amsterdam?
Mori-san, the kind of cute girl everyone liked in the series. Anyway,
Okay.
Honey, the
I'll
true
buy that.
captain of the Andromeda. That was always my favorite
Yay.
ship, by the way. Alan thinks illegal aliens is just a state of mind. It's fair. It is fair. Yeah.
New York.
That's right. Mr. Motion, wave motion engineer. Perfect. I got to use motion twice in different ways.
Yes.
That's all. Alliteration is important. Yeah.
That was awesome.
And then, of course, last but certainly not least, Rosa, the better Guinan in 10 Forward. Oh, wait a minute. That's a different show.
What? Thanks.
It was Star Trek. But because
I
the
know.
artist told me to pick the wrong poll, I can only make one choice. So, blame the artist. They told me. I asked them.
I know.
But who am I going to choose? Where can I pick Jason Gonzalez? Oh, I can't. Let me go back and look again. Let me look again. I'm going to look again. I'm looking again. I got to go with Alan. I know that's tough, man. Eric's is so spot on, and he even put the Japanese in
It
there.
is.
Good guy. But now I got to go with Alan, dude. That's such a monumental moment in the show itself. So I'm going with Alan. I have chosen.
You have chosen wisely.
I have chosen. Yeah.
That's yes.
Oh, I did like Eric's quite a bit, though. And of course, it means nothing.
You gave Alan his only vote?
I gave him his only, which is ridiculous because that's literally a great reference from the story, from the show. But you
I'm
know,
used to it.
yeah. Amron knows how to win them. He just puts a little bit of boobage on the things. I kind of wonder, could you draw a dump truck and put boobs on it and win?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, haven't you seen Cars?
Hey,
I could do a
seen
transformer.
Armor
like
on
a
draw a
female
couple of dump
transformer
trucks. You know what I'm saying?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
dear.
making a transformer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No. Wait. Okay, I get you. Fred.
RC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave it here
Someone
for.
did I saw someone on Twitter drew like a who does a lot of transformer drawings, like fan arts and stuff, and he did like a steamroller. Like a female transformer that transforms into a steamroller. And yeah, and the boobs are like the roller at the front.
Oh,
She's transformed. People ask, like, is it hard or soft? It goes, well, at command, she can make them soft or hard.
That makes sense. Physics don't apply to transformers.
Exactly.
Tiny human-sized guns can become giant robots.
Mm-hmm.
I was in that video.
They're doing like
called
a
Trans.
Megatron next year. Another one. Gonna be a tank again.
More than heats the thighs.
We just killed Chester.
You know what? I'm in Chester.
Oh, he's so quiet.
Chester.
Yeah. Hello.
You alive?
Maybe I have to go start the package or something.
Sorry, I'm back. All right. I'm sure no one missed me anyway. So tell me, Eric, was my naming convention whimsical and or humorous?
Oh yeah, I thought it was pretty humorous. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
My favorite one was the last one though, because it's a Star Trek joke.
What was it?
It was. I was proud
And it's
of you.
come true in real life.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
Was Guinan Whoopi?
Yes. That
Yes.
was yes.
Oh yeah.
Guinan truly has
I hate Whoopi Goldberg and her flying cupcake story.
Well,
Oh my god.
I never understood why she
What?
existed
Okay.
anyway.
Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Probably yeah.
Yeah, I never found anything she did interesting. The Guinan thing was probably the best of it.
No, I didn't even think she was a great comedian.
No, she's definitely not a good comedian, but unfortunately, we get a lot of people who are told who are good comedians who are not.
Well,
That's
definitely
common
she
now.
is a bitter person now.
Yeah, what happened, man? She used to actually be kind of
Yeah.
fun-loving. I mean, I never cared
Yeah.
for her much, but I had no emotion toward her. I
Heck,
mean,
she dated a guy that did blackface. I mean, she seemed to have a good sense of humor
yeah,
at one time.
Dan, what was his name?
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson
Ted,
from
yeah.
Cheers, yeah. So I don't know what her problem was. But something happened to her. But a lot of them, look what happened to Sharon Osbourne. I mean, goodness gracious.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was not good, man. Not good.
Oh dear.
But whatever. You just get old and bitter, I guess.
That
You
is
got to be
not
more like
true.
me. I'm happy and effervescent.
That is true. You're very fizzy. You're fizzy.
I'm a
Thank
bitter
you.
old man.
See, it's because you manscape. You don't have anything
Get off my lawn.
to fizz with. Yeah. Anyway, Cool. I'll call it right here. Thank you all very much. Thank you to Rosa, of course, Jason, Elrod, Amy, Alan, Honey, and of course, Eric. But our winner, once again, shocking to everyone involved, Omron, the Gamelonian Vegemite dealer. Claps, 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 claps. It was good though, Omron. It is really good. I chose. I liked Eric's as well, but I chose Alan's because it's really an important scene. Did you ever see Yamato, Omron?
It wasn't very well widely known in Australia. Mostly all the kids were watching Voltron and Robotech.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember it being even on TV.
Yeah, because you're what, 10 years younger than me?
One.
You're like 10 years younger than me, right?
Yeah.
That's why.
So, yeah, it's and Astro Boy too, like the color, the more modern version for the 80s. Well, it was like 70s, but that was pretty popular.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, it makes sense because Robotech and Voltron were the schnizzle in the 80s for sure. With this Yamato's from the 70s.
Yeah, it was like right before my time, I think, Yamato. So my brothers loved it, but it was like, so I missed it by a couple
we did get it as Starblazers, I think, like on VHS.
Oh, sure. Well, it's kind of like I'm too old for He-Man, right? When He-Man came out, I was just too old to care about it, right? I was same kind of pocket in reverse, Elrod. I just wasn't in that frame of mind at that time. But for Yamato, I was in the perfect age group for it. I used to get off of school and I had to run home to get home in time to not miss the opening.
That was the best part, right?
Oh, I
That
would
is the
too.
best.
It's not the best part. It's actually a great story, but that song is just it sticks in your mind forever. But nevertheless, let's come over here and let's see what everyone's up to, and we'll go ahead and I guess I have to namaste myself out. Interesting.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. It's okay. That's all right. So anyway, Amaran, the girls have questions.
Yeah, I didn't have anything for lunch.
Oh, you assumed that's their question. It could have been something else.
What'd you have for breakfast?
Breakfast, right? I remember last night.
Your favorite color?
Who's your favorite band?
Nickelback.
I guess we should have known that. So we get one question a week then. Okay. Should we ask about breakfast again? Or should we ask about the band?
Next week?
Oh, okay.
Funny questions with armor on.
Yeah. How you doing? There. That's always a good one.
All right. It should be a show. What is Armron thinking about?
It should be.
Right.
It should be. What's Amron thinking about today? The
What's
little
your favorite color?
1 minute clip before the next show. Yeah, we need that. We need that. Yeah, that's true. Well, anyway, thanks for coming in, Amron. It's a really good picture, dude. Girls, what are you up to?
Drawing space boats. That was unexpected, but I think it came out pretty nice, all things considered. It's fun to do something really different once in a while. Lissa's, I think, finished up the programming part of the thing, and I'm finishing up some comic pages, which I have to pretty much immediately get back to work too, because I got to finish inking the rest of those tonight and do the lettering tomorrow. So, yeah, busy but good. A good kind of busy.
That is good.
So,
And you might be shocked by this, but I have several of the ships from Yamato's as models that I made. Painstaking detail, by the way. Yes.
Oh,
Not
nice.
shocked in the least.
Are they like on your desk, or are they on like one of the shelves or something like that?
Yes.
Ah, all right. I'd heard
They're
you
everywhere.
decorate rather sparsely,
I
so.
have a total of 5 of them, and each ship is different. And I almost spent $1,000 on a like a 3-foot, 3.5-foot version of it that's actually has needs to have electricity run through it because it does all kind of motions and stuff.
Ooh.
But
What?
my wife looked at me with that look.
Uh-oh.
You know.
Hey, the phone is Rochester.
So
Is there?
I do not own it.
But I don't know. What if you saved up a little bit over a long period of time? Would that be okay then?
Well, I'm joking, of course. I could have bought it myself, but I'm actually way more frugal than you assume I am. I just can't see spending $1,000 for a little toy that just sits on a desk.
But it lights up, right?
No, it makes sounds. The cannons move. The wave motion blinks and has the sound.
Ooh.
It's amazing. But I
I
just
mean,
can't see paying that kind of money for it. I just can't.
if
I don't know. The
I'm
more
gonna
you
spend
talk about it, the
$1,000
more
and
it's worth it.
You know a
$1,000
lot
to
about
spend
it for
cheaply?
someone who's not going to buy it.
Shut up.
Mhm. He's kind of convincing himself little by little with saying he's not.
It's true. It was probably 10 years ago.
Don't
The
let
last time
the
I looked at it, I bet you it's been doubled in price now. It's a collector's item, you know. Anyway, thank you very much. How about you, honey? What you doing? You did a real good job today. I like this. This is good.
Oh, thank you. I was really tickled with how the little radar screen came out. I was going to give it little
Oh, I
blinking
see.
lights, but I spent all my time cleaning up the heroine's line art.
Right.
Well, let's see. Like Amy said, I got the oh yeah, I'm going to add a little flag display on the the play tester so you can control the values of the flags in real time.
Oh wow! Ooh,
Yeah.
that would be kind of epic.
Yeah. So that's one last feature I need to add. But by that we're going to be.
I would have guessed that'd be a thing, but we can swing that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to add that so places going to get easier. After that, we're going to be doing our first run, trying to do a dialogue that interacts with the main gameplay.
I should have the pages done by then, so I can start working on the sprites.
Right. So yeah, we're one giant leap from mankind right now. Getting a demo done. Okay, started and we're gonna get that demo finished. It's like getting closer. You're quiet, but it's moving, and it's gonna be so cool when we can share what's going on with you guys.
I feel like
Hey.
Melissa's doing the voiceover for her animation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like that. This is Melissa explaining what's going on with her computer behind her. Boop, boop.
Right. Well, she is one of the deck crew, right? You know the captainy area. Anyway, thank you very much, girls. Very good. Eric, are you doing anything important?
Not usually, no. I'm still working. I still do comics and working on stuff. I just didn't launch anything this year. Basically, just came on here and did the other show I was working on and drew the whole time. So
Nice. Oh, it looks great, dude.
yeah.
It's right on, dude. It's on model. Do you
Cool,
still
thanks.
work or are you retired?
Shit, I'm far from retiring.
What's the
I still
retirement
work.
age in America now?
I'll probably be 67 when I retire. So
Holy. Wow.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a while. So yeah, I do 40 plus hours a week. I'm salary, so it's usually 50 plus.
Yeah, well, that's what salary gets you.
Yeah, I know, but it was a little more money, and now I don't think it is more money because I'm doing more hours.
Yeah, that's true. Well, also think about this. It's even worse when you own the business.
Luckily I don't. We used to be a family-owned business, and now it's we've sold to 2 different investment companies. So now we're on our second one. So hoping they hold out for me to retire.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I mean we've been around for over 100 years, or just about 100 years now. So
Whoa. Okay.
unfortunately, you guys had to sell,
the owner, no one's children's wanted to continue to run the business.
That's a problem. I have my friend is basically shutting down his business, and that one is 1,000 years old
Wow.
because
Oh my God.
none of the kids or family want to continue it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That would kill me.
Yeah, it's rough.
Oh
It's rough.
man.
I kind of, just to keep it going, offered to like I need more responsibility. Offered to try to keep it going, but the problem with it is this industry is very controlled in Japan, and I'm the wrong color.
What is it?
no.
Oh.
What does he do?
Dynamite.
Oh.
For sweet.
So you
JJ
don't
Walker
you
impressionist? That's a dream job.
I know,
you
right?
won't be driving the dynamite truck anymore?
No, that's done. But I'm just helping out anyway, just helping a friend. It's not like I need the job, right? He needs
Yeah.
help, so I was helping him. But yeah, no, they started with as weapon makers, making swords and spears and metal, blacksmiths. Then when of course black powder came around, they diversified into that. Making guns and muskets, and they continued on. The weapons went away when the Americans came in, of course, but they continued on with dynamite. So literally 1,000 years that company has been around.
That's a shame.
It is an incredible shame. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much, Eric. Anyway, let's
Oh,
see
thank you.
here. Oh, thank you. How about you, Elrod? You got something to say? I like this Red Sonja. She looks very saucy.
What color should I make the border?
The border, I would go. You could go brown, but I'd go gray. I think I'd go like a deep gray.
So you're saying blue?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I was gonna say bright blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say blue.
blue too.
Well, I mean, with the
right?
with the light
And it
behind her,
contrasts
it would be blue. You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Well, it contrasts all the gold and yellow.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
And look, it's got Easter eggs
Well,
everywhere.
I say that because it will also bring in the primary colors, which will bring somebody's eyes right to it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Color theory. Do you guys argue about color theory as much as we all think you do?
Yeah, we fight
Oh,
all
yeah.
the
No.
time.
Yeah.
We
all
get
don't
all
there.
fight,
kinds
we
of
fist
chats
fight.
and all the time.
Get
Yeah.
get bloody with it. All right.
You
It's
haven't
always
you
a
haven't
catty.
visited, you haven't visited the color theory page on the Discord? Oh my god, it's brutal.
Brutal. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Elrod. All right, let's see here. Who else? Who's next? Jason, what you up to, dude?
Jason.
He's open. Arthur, you are roboting incredibly so.
Yo.
Bitty bitty bang bang.
While you are really
Yo.
roboting badly. That is a Buck Rogers reference. Thank you very much, sir.
Whoa, Chester.
Jason?
Hello?
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay, good. Go ahead.
All right. So basically, what's happening to me? My brother, I had a brother who joined the Marines recently. So it's been a couple of weeks. But I'm glad to be back to art again. Actually, I haven't really drawn in a while.
Right.
So.
Well, the good thing with your brother joining the Marines, though, is we have a president coming in that doesn't like war. So.
Yes. And
he'll get to travel to Ukraine and see beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, thank God. Yeah, I've got. Yeah, you can just check out my Instagram. We've got plushies and canvas art for Christmas out now on our Etsy shop. So head on down there if y'all want to get a plushie for a little girl or a little boy, don't matter.
What kind of plushie?
Teddy bears. We've got pandas and lions and even jaguars as well.
Noah's
Ark.
my.
No tigers. I don't think we have tigers, but we've got quite a few plushies. And has one of our few of our t-shirt designs on it too. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So
you know what I'm surprised, Jason, that I've never seen is a Baby Jesus plushie. I think that would sell well.
Oh,
Baby Jesus.
Jesus would curse you.
Why?
Because he said no graven images.
That's not graven. It's only graven if you worship it.
It's not a graven. No.
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 Yeah.
I put a little more detail on this shit, by the way.
I would buy a Baby Jeebus.
No, I got a Buddy Christ over here on my shelf right now.
You can buy them. Catholic churches sell them all the time.
Do they? Oh, they
I was
have
about to
those.
tell
Those
you
aren't
that.
cool though.
They're not plushy.
Every Mexican mom has a baby Jesus.
That's true,
Yep.
but it's the little statues with the heart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not Jesus.
Even the manger
That's
one, they
Elron.
just hang around the house.
Jesus is in a kid.
Oh, that's true. The manger. Yeah. Actually, my grandmother's house, they had a very nice manger, but they also had this beautiful little train set that went under the tree and moved around, and it had all these little characters and little buildings. It was really neat.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah, me
So
too.
classic.
Yeah, me too. I actually take a lot of time with the students in my school with the Christmas tree. Involved them. I have them create decorations every year, and we decorate the tree together. Yeah, it's good.
Cool.
Yeah. Then we have Christmas cookies, because that's the only thing you should eat on Christmas is cookies, because it go
That's true.
Christmas cookie Christmas cake.
Absolutely.
Nah, we don't want that. We want Christmas
Nah.
cookies.
What about Christmas ham?
Cake.
I mean,
Do
if
you know
you're
how much it
opening
would
like
cost to buy ham here in Japan?
How much?
Oh, how much?
To actually
much
buy a
is-
proper ham, like a candied ham that my mom or grandmother would make all the time, would probably cost me about $200, $250 maybe.
what?
Oh my God!
Yams are fairly
Meat
expensive.
is very expensive,
Oh,
particularly.
we just bought ham and a turkey today because I have to make both.
Oh wow, you got a lot of people
Well,
coming over, huh?
Half of them don't like turkey.
What?
Why don't like turkey?
That's very
Most of my
un-American.
wife's family does not like turkey.
Tell them to leave the country immediately.
Yeah.
It's everyone in our house
if you
doesn't
cook
like
it,
turkey
yeah,
either, but it's tradition to complain about it.
That's fair.
Oh.
That's fair. Well, honestly, Thanksgiving dinner, which keep in mind, guys, we're off next week for Thanksgiving. I never cared for it. I love turkey, but I don't like stuffing. I hate cranberry sauce. I don't like pumpkin pie. So
Really?
I wasn't a big fan of it either. So, but I would eat the turkey. I would nibble at the other things I was forced to eat, and then I would have myself a nice lemon meringue.
Ooh.
What about pecan
Oh,
pie?
it is the most pie-centric
pecan
holiday.
pie.
Pecan pie, if I was in the South at the time, sure.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh, sucker's
honestly,
red.
my wife makes a much better pecan pie than my mom did.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
There.
Aw.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, right? But because my mom actually was a pretty good cook. She was a great cake maker. She was amazing at that,
Oh,
actually.
neat.
But my wife's picked up a few Western things, and she does them really well.
Oh, cool. I feel
Yeah,
like
well, she has
are there
30
many
years of experience, so,
practice, right?
Yeah, makes perfect. Alan, what you got?
And what's up, Dak?
Hey,
Everything's chill here. Just working on my own book. Here's some flats for Atros on the page.
nice.
Oh, there we go.
Even your flats look great, though, dude.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I almost
Yeah.
like it's already too late, but I was like, as I'm flatting it, I did think about, I was like, I should have been a little more chill with the colors. I do like the flat look a little bit.
I like the colors, though, dude. I love how
I'll never
colorful
be
this
chill
book
with
is,
the
and
colors.
and irreverent as well. And is
Oh
that
yes.
I don't know, is he kangaroo? Is he a Jerry curl guy? It looks like Jerry curls.
Which one?
The kangaroo guy.
Oh, this one right
In the
here. Oh,
bottom
he's a
middle?
llama.
Oh, he's a llama. There, that's much worse than a kangaroo.
Yeah.
No.
This is a kind of an Easter egg. If you can recognize the suit, you'll figure out
Yes,
what
it's
this
from
character
the
is.
Big Lebowski. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
One of his best
Little Easter
roles. Although I
eggs.
liked him in the first Transformer movie as well. He did do a good job.
Here's
in
another
that.
Easter egg. I'm
I
pretty
like
sure
how
Andrew
the
would have
cheetah.
figured this one out real
Yeah.
quick.
That Chitara, yeah.
She has to have 2 coffees because she's a cheetah.
Yes.
Oh,
And the
you
panda
gave the
kind of.
goat rectangle eyes.
Yeah. And of course, the panda does look like the very boring and constantly sad Xi Jinping. So perfect. Is that Marianne from Gilligan's Island?
Where?
The
The
Batgirl.
bat? No, but I have an affinity for Marianne, so I could have subconsciously did that.
'Cause it feels like it, doesn't it?
She's
Look
so
at it.
cool.
It kind of feels like Marianne.
If she were a
I'm a
bat.
Marianne guy.
Yeah, so am I, dude. Marianne all day. Nothing against Ginger.
Mrs.
You know, she
Howe.
was almost rough out
Oh,
Nothing against Ginger.
no, but
Not like
no,
Ginger was a dog or anything, right?
no. But Mary Jane all day.
Marianne was the
Marianne,
bomb.
sorry, Marianne. Yeah, Marianne.
Oh my
Mrs.
goodness.
Howe was the dirty one. You know it.
It's true.
Oh my
It's true.
goodness.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right. Well, thank you very much, Alan. Thank you, everybody. And
Love
let's
it.
see here. Let's go down to Rosa. Hello, Rosa.
Hi. I love you and you and you. I love all of you, but especially you right over there. I'm pointing at you right now. And I love you. Oh, I love you. Yes, and I'm supposed to be working on my edit, which I got back from my line editor, Stephen Black. He was like, "Hey, this is great. We're gonna do this thing," and he turned it in, and I'm doing all the thing where you have to go through and you have to accept the edit, and like so I'm checking all of it, and instead I'm on here drawing a picture of the wave motion gun.
Mhm.
So congratulations
should
to
be.
me. Yeah, well, no, I'm gonna be up till 4 a.m. now.
That's okay.
Playing with it. Because it's okay because I drew the wave motion gun and I needed that really bad tonight. Yeah, and so watcherthedam.com. Go and see giant big old series. It's like, there's 7 books. We're working on the 8th. We're going to be talking about it in December. Yay, congratulations. And so
Cool.
go read my book. And thank you so much for everybody for being awesome and just being here tonight and talking with us. I love you.
Thank you, Rosa. That was very nice.
I know.
It's very nice. All right. Well,
Sweet.
I need to namaste us out here, so I will give the appropriate namaste for Yamato. In the year 2199, Earth was under severe attack from the mysterious planet Gamelon. Gamelonian planet bombs covered the Earth with radioactive pollution. And as a result, in 1 year's time, Earth will be unlivable. But on the planet Iscandar, there is a machine that can remove the radioactivity. Queen Starsha offers it to the people of Earth. A team of Starblazers called the Star Force undertakes the perilous journey. But can the Star Force travel 148,000 light years and back in just 1 Earth year? Namaste. That's right. Very good.
See? Vote Camacho. Vote Camacho.
Go Camacho. Later, everybody.
That's just for Kevin.